Hey, welcome to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet. And today we have what was it, Black Guy Fox or this Guy Fox?
He doesn't know who Guy Fawkes is, though.
Oh, this is so crazy to me. I can't
But
tell
doesn't
you
that
how
make it
many,
funnier?
how many
Yeah, it does.
times I've seen you in like a communism, socialism versus crazy people debate. And I
Yeah.
was just like, "How the fuck do you not know?" Okay. You know what?
I would agree that people that defend capitalism are probably a little crazy.
Oh, Guy Fawkes was a guy who tried to was part of the Gunpowder Plot, which was a conspiracy to blow up Parliament. In I don't know what year. It could have been
The
literally any time. I
1600s?
I want to say
Right.
1600s. It could have been as late as the
Yeah.
1800s.
Hey, we have
He
some
was
Brits
very
here, right?
anti-establishment, though.
Don't you
So
guys have to know this?
What? No, what?
Oh, the Brits. They have like a whole like holiday.
none of us are British.
Oh, okay. So he was born in April 1570, died in 1606.
That's not a very long life.
No, he
Well,
was very young.
he probably got
It's
executed because he
36
tried to
years
blow
old.
up Parliament.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. That
are
that may
you
have
really
happened too.
British if you haven't tried to blow up Parliament at least once in your life? I mean,
this is this. I mean, this is
especially when
fair.
the Tories are running it. Like, you just want to, you know,
Yeah, we
I'm
get
not
it.
going to say that because there really isn't
Right,
a nice
right. I
way
was
to
just
say
like,
it. So
yeah, we
I'm
get
not.
it. So, everybody, back by popular demand is Leo Phileas. And do I have music here? I have, yes, I have this. Leo, people have been asking about you. How you been?
I've been fine. I've been moving. That's why, like, there's been nothing on
Ah,
my channel. I'm hoping once I get
you've been moving for
more of
2 months?
this area. Yeah, I have. That's what it takes to move 62 years of stuff out of a house. So
Oh,
You're not
God.
62 years old.
I am not 62 years old, but my family has been living in that house for 62 years. So
And they moved. Holy crap.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
My grandmother and grandfather bought that house for $4,500 in 1961. It's
That is so
1962. It's a five
cool.
bedroom house.
And I mean, what have us millennials done lately? Am I right?
Yeah, them damn lazy woke avocado toast eating liberal Marxist Democrat millennials. What do they know about anything? Soft
Well,
hands. Soft
I've been
hands.
looking for my next
What's up?
house in like the tent section of Walmart.
Well, if you move in, let me know how the neighborhood is. I might follow suit.
Right. Goddamn communist. Down with the patriarchy and some such nonsense. All right.
Down with all
So,
forms of hierarchy. Let humans be free.
you know what? I like you so much. I mean, when we're not like arguing and at each other's throats, which is often.
Yeah.
That's how we do it in this community. We hold each other's feet to the fire because
Thank
we
you.
don't want to revel in our collective ignorance. That's
Thank
not a thing
you.
we want to do.
You
So
know
we
what?
try to prevent that.
People say that I just want to cancel other people. And I'm like, no, I really just want to fight for everybody's civil rights and your right to not be stupid on camera, which I seem to have like a really bad, like, I don't know. I'm willing to admit that it's a character flaw that I'm not willing to fix, but you're like not allowed to be, if you're my friend, like, you can't be wrong about something on camera. It's just,
It's
you, you,
amazing
you
how
must be
many
your
of these
best
rules
self.
I
I'm
break.
sorry.
I've been wrong on camera. I've
As
also
have
been
I.
wrong on camera around people who don't like it when you're wrong on camera. I've been the guy that other people have been around when they were wrong on camera,
Oh,
who
yes, you
didn't
have.
like people being wrong on camera. So
People like you and I, we give as good as we get, right? I mean, or we get as I don't know, like we're not gonna like go pearl clutching and like, oh my god, it's
no,
like
I'm not a
okay,
conservative. I'm not so easily driven by my emotions.
right? So like, me too. I'm wrong every single stream, and I take the L, and I am happy because I fucking learned something. I
Yeah.
grew, and it I think it's a cause to rejoice, and people pay me for learning and being wrong and helping them learn
Getting
learn about
paid to
things that they.
learn. Like, why wasn't I born into that world? What is this? What is this bullshit?
Like, you have like 2 or 3 times as many subs as I do. Like, you just need to go live a little more often. People love it. They throw their
I do.
panties, I mean, their wallets at you. It's sometimes both. Sometimes they throw their wallets wrapped in panties, and then they throw all that at you. It's like, take
Hell
it
yeah.
off. And then sometimes you make a joke about your co-host getting naked on stream, and then throw even more. It's wild over here. You should
It really
stream.
is. Yeah,
Hmm?
I mean, I made us $50 in like
What, 5,
10
10
minutes.
minutes? Yeah.
I promising to
Yeah.
take my shirt off.
Yeah. Pink tits. Who knew? Like, it's apparently a community fetish
Yeah, I mean, I can
or
just
something.
imagine what would happen if you promised, Maya, but then we'd
I
also
don't
get
have tits. It's all Kindle under here.
that. Fair enough. Fair
It's
enough.
boring shit.
How can I change my name? Because if you look at my name tag, there's a little period at the end of it, and it's really
Oh,
fucking with my OCD right now.
it wouldn't let me, like, you can't do
so
share. Like, there has to be something in the last name box.
What the
yeah,
fuck is this?
at the bottom of the
God, I hate it when
screen,
they do that.
at the bottom of the
Stupid
screen, there's a
websites.
thing, and I might actually be able to change your name.
Whoa, what does
Will
he
it
want to
let me do it
be?
this way?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Leo, he, him.
Oh, it looks fine now.
I just changed it to a space instead of a period.
Oh,
Sweet.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's stinking with your lipstick, Vandy.
You know what? Yeah, and see, this is why I only have the master's degree, and he has a whole ass PhD.
Piled higher and deeper.
I bet he still has to look up the quadratic formula, though. You probably don't even use that, do you?
I never use it.
I don't. If I can't factor something, I'll probably just like not do it. But no, I
This is
don't. It's the
hard. I'm just
opposite of
not
b
gonna
plus
do
or
it.
minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Yeah,
Just one of the things you remembered, but probably didn't choose to remember, and it just kind of stuck, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of like
It's kind of like me with Planck's constant. I don't know why, but I've memorized it. 6.626 times 10 to the negative 34 joule seconds. Like, why do I know that? Why is that a thing?
I don't know why you know that. I know pi to 30 places.
Jesus. I know pi to like 4.
I know that Harold Glass was Jan's imaginary boyfriend in the Brady Bunch. Why do I know that?
I know
What's
that
the
milk
Brady
was
Crazy,
invented by
right?
Robert Milk.
I know what the Brady Bunch is. I'm not that stupid.
I know what the Brady Bunch is. I've only watched like 4 episodes of it, but I can say that I have seen it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, Bridge of the Divide is never here unless I have Jefferson Spatchcock on. But I challenged him to a Buffy off, which is not as perverted as it sounds. We are both hardcore Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans, and I was like, I'll challenge your knowledge one day, one
Bridge
day.
the Divide. I know who that is. What? Oh, God, what's his name?
JL.
There we go. J.L. Warren. Yeah, he's a cool
Yes.
guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, JL's cool. I don't know if he's like up as late as we stay on, but I should ask if he's open to that because that would be a fun show. But all right. Oh God. Speaking of which, Leo, I'm gonna try to break your brain today.
Okay.
Oh no, she froze.
Did she? Oh,
Yeah, she did. She just froze.
I thought we just went silent for a second.
No.
So Leo did not. Well, okay. I didn't show. I did give Leo the opportunity to view the video, and he was like, "No, this is cool. Surprise me." Um, and I have it on good authority that surprised you shall be. Doc, what do we have for Leo?
Okay, so we have the name of the video is Scientists Just Discovered the Entity That May Have Created the Universe. I really like this video title because the word entity is sufficiently sort of agnostic, I think. You know, and a lot of things are entities, potentially.
Yeah, well, and
And
you'll see from the thumbnail that Leo is officially the entity that created the universe.
that seems plausible to me.
Hmm.
The channel is Voyager, with a very generic little icon here, and also a generic name. No, far too generic in my opinion. Imaginology, much better channel name. We were discussing it
Yes.
before we started. But it only has so this channel has a whopping 443,000 subscribers, and this video from 8 months ago only has 6.8 thousand views. So they're just not doing a very good job with turnover.
Gee, I wonder why.
Oh,
Not
really
excellent.
quick. Yehugan has given us $2. It is evil. It's Leo. God, it's evil Leo with the facial hair.
Yeah, he's got the goatee, so the goatee
Leo,
version
did
is
you
always
turn
the
evil
evil
on
one.
me?
Yeah.
I hope not. I really do. I mean, I'm no morally perfect being, but I try to do the right thing.
Fair enough.
And you know what? We are all really proud of Al.
Yes.
Why are we proud of Al? I'm not saying that we shouldn't be. I just don't know why
Al,
we are. What
Al
happened?
is now
2 weeks
back
in
at
the
home.
hospital.
Yeah, he spent
Oh
a
shit! Yeah,
long
we are
time.
proud of
Yeah,
Al. Hell
yeah.
yeah! Yes,
He
we
got
are.
home
Absolutely.
yesterday, I think, and I had quite the annoying fight with some pneumonia. So
Oh
he's back at it.
Jesus!
So yep.
Yeah.
Well, good
So
for
we're
you,
we're
Al.
proud of good for you, Al. You lived. Fight another day.
Okie dokie. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that we're going to learn about how scientists have discovered the entity that created the universe?
Ember, thank you for the raid.
Because I don't think we will.
No, I don't think the universe was created.
Fair enough.
I take a very, very unintuitive yet entirely objectively correct view with respect to the universe, and that is that the universe is not itself an object. Objects are things inside the universe. The universe does not exist anywhere because anywhere is inside of the universe, and the universe itself does not endure for any time because time is a feature of the universe. So it makes no sense to say that the universe has existed for any amount of time or in any spot because those are spatio-temporal terms and those only mean something inside of the universe.
Well, how did God create the universe outside of space and time? I hear that a lot.
That's a question for William Lane Craig.
Because
Indeed.
God and the universe are both time-lass, space-lass, immaterial.
Why does he say it like that, though, unironically?
Time-lass.
Oh my god. Enormously powerful.
And personal.
Yes, yep.
Okay,
All right, let's go.
Let's go to go.
Through the wonders of science, we have unraveled many mysteries regarding the captivating journey of human evolution. Yet, amidst our triumphs, blank spaces in the earliest chapters of life's story linger. Today, we dive into the enthralling realm of cosmology, where scientists have unearthed a groundbreaking discovery that might reshape our understanding of the universe. We are about to learn about the mysterious entity that could be responsible for creating the cosmos. What secrets lie in these revelations? How might they redefine the narrative of our origin? Join us as we learn how scientists just discovered the entity that may have created the universe.
Oh, wait. Oh, they already discovered it. Wait. Join us as we learn about how scientists discovered the entity that may have created the universe. That's interesting.
Yeah, may have. May have.
That's quite
Did that guy
sentence.
sound kind of British to you guys?
I just assume all of this is electronic. What do you call that?
AI voice?
AI.
Yeah. That.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's funny. It sounds kind of British, but it said cosmos instead of cosmos because British people don't know how to use their own fucking language.
Oh my god.
I like that take.
It's the correct one.
I mean, it's if it's your take, it's always the correct one, Leo. I know exactly how to suck up to our guest today. That's great. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh.
Join us as we learn how scientists just discovered the entity that may have created the universe.
And this right here is the first original content on the channel.
Right.
Right? Because
Honestly.
I mean, I especially loved when they were talking about cosmology, and they had
We are about to learn about the
like one
mysterious
of
entity.
some of these random images of like butterflies, and
Oh,
I
I'm
like an
Whatever
sure it
that
was
eyeball.
was.
like in a reference to either the flower of life or the oh god,
The
that
golden ratio, I think,
golden
is what you're
ratio.
referring
Thank
to. Yeah.
you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, or both. It might have. Yeah.
Yup.
Responsible for creating the cosmos origin.
I do have to
Join us as we
clarify
learn
really,
how.
really quickly for everybody in the chat. I was being facetious when I talked about the English not knowing how to speak their own language. I mean, it is kind of true, but like
We've taken it over.
I love me
Can't
some
have it
British
back.
people. I mean, if you know me well, you know I love me some British people.
I think it's been kind of interesting. Like, I think the Canadians are probably the closest to us, but like, there's definitely like a British English and Australian English that,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Like if you ask for
especially,
the bathroom in Australia and you're not in a place that tourists frequent, they're gonna look at you like, "What? You need to take a bath?"
yeah, you need to ask what
What
country
they call the bathroom is what
you
we
ask
call
for
a restaurant
chips.
here in America. They call it the Denny's. Yeah.
I think we might too. Actually, you know what? I don't know where. Oh, you know what? I've been kicked out of my own stream twice already. Somewhere in here is a $5 super chat from Professor Parks. It says "throwing my thong," and thank you.
Wait,
I
did we
mean,
lose the super chat?
I don't know where it went.
I mean, it's you gotta like scroll up and
Oh,
like
here we
find the
go.
thing, and then you gotta like press the button. And
Press the button. Found it. Thank you, Professor Parks.
normally, when you say press the button, you're yelling at me for not doing this.
How scientists just discovered the entity that may have created the universe. The ancient Romans believed that our universe originated suddenly from chaos, a vast combination of diverse elements. In a parallel vein, early followers of Christianity and Judaism held that the world emerged from chaos, guided by the intervention of an almighty God.
What? I don't think that's what happened.
I don't know how accurate these statements are. I'm just gonna say that.
Well,
I feel like there's probably a lot of nuance in them.
yeah, I would say that it was. So if you look at the first couple words,
I mean, there's a couple of religions that definitely believe like chaos was like an actual deity. Like Tiamat's the
yeah,
Yes.
one.
Chaos and
Um,
Gaia.
right. And for the Greeks, it's I probably, but I very sure the Bible does not. Like God just kind of
well, so
Well,
the
there's
there
a
was
first
like
couple
a
of different
void.
ways to look at it, but
here's the first couple of verses. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So there was stuff, but it was
there's stuff. Yeah.
formless.
Do
But it
we
Yeah,
was
really
that's not
empty,
know?
but
that's
it
not
wasn't
that's
stuff.
not
It's
chaos.
not.
That's just like a rock and water. Like
Yeah.
God came into the world and there was a rock filled surrounded by water. Which again is their understanding, I believe, was a steady state at the time. Or okay, no, it was like a
Well,
flat earth with a dome, and on the other side of the dome was water. And I believe that's why the sky was blue. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it was just like, yeah, it was holding the dome was holding, yeah, the waters from above from the waters of the deep, and so we
I
could.
think it's more likely that they just didn't think about it all that hard that often. Most of them.
Well, I mean, what scientific method are they gonna like take to discover the cosmos?
I think we probably don't know what they meant because the words that we're using in our modern day language
Yeah,
probably are not capturing correctly the concepts that people thousands of years ago had in mind.
I would agree.
Chaos was a concept, but
Yeah, but I
it's
don't
not
think
really captured in the Bible. So I
yeah,
don't think
I
that
don't think that
Christianity really.
when we talk about chaos today,
Mhm.
whatever the Greeks meant by it 2600 years ago is
I'm
almost
not talking
certainly
about.
We
not
Yeah,
what
no,
we
I'm not
mean.
talking about the Greeks. I'm talking about the Bible, which
well, also, yeah, chaos today. Also, I mean, an entirely like sort of new related, mathematically precise like meaning for the word chaos emerged in the 50s or 60s when chaos theory was developed. It is related to, like, they didn't just choose a random word.
Right.
But it has precise meanings today sometimes that people don't generally use in everyday conversation.
I think the Big Bang is actually kind of more chaotic than what they thought happened. Oh, my thing's
Mm.
broken because I was kicked out. All right. Left-Handed Jedi gifted us 10 cult members, and those went to Borg Cube, Jake, insert clever dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Sinner, Johnny Smith, Salt of the Red Planets, can't talk today, Dwayna Campion, oh goddamn, Kakiriki, Firehawk, Blonde Bomb, Blonde Bomb Sheller, Dog, Sally Luz. Yeah, that's it. That's everybody. God. All right. One day I'll be able to read again. So thank you, Left-Handed Jedi, and welcome back, members. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your Jedis, or your Jedis. I'm seeing Jedis in the stream.
Nitties.
Your nitties and vaginas.
There we go.
One day, yeah, I'm going to stop talking. And
Recent scientific experiments
drink my
confirm
coffee.
these ancient narratives. It
No, they
suggests
don't.
that the universe's origin aligns more closely with these age-old myths than our current understanding of the world. While
Wait, so modern science
Which is our current understanding of the world.
agrees more with stuff other than our current understanding of the world.
Yeah, and it disagrees with itself. Makes sense.
I don't. Okay.
One of these things is not
the ancient
like the
perspectives
other.
may have
Right?
missed specific details, the broad concept resonates with current scientific findings. Researchers assert that the pre-creation chaos consisted not of divine intervention, but of numerous quantum particles in a superposition. In this narrative,
Is that possible?
I mean, there have
probably not.
definitely been quantum particles in superposition, and I think that there were probably quantum particles in superposition very early on. So it's mostly an empty statement. Mostly he just didn't say anything.
Yeah, it's just a good old appeal to quantum stuff because then I sound smart.
Quantum.
Oh, yeah. They really do like saying quantum mechanics, therefore anything.
Yep. Yeah. It's very aggravating.
the force molding chaos into our reality is not a deity, but a powerful black hole.
What?
This revelation.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just throwing out like sciencey terms. Quantum superpositions can manifest through black holes and then entanglement, and that's how you get consciousness.
Indeed. Yep.
Damn.
These fancy swords
prompts a reconsideration of the accuracy of ancient myths, suggesting that, in essence, they may hold a closer connection to the truth than our modern interpretations. Let's delve into the specifics. According to
I would love for you to try to delve into any of the specifics. Literally, the graphic that you have on screen right now, I'm pretty sure is a million times better at delving into any related specifics than you say, because I'm pretty sure the graphic on screen is from the movie Interstellar, and they spent a lot of time and effort to try and make the graphics in Interstellar be some version of related to reality. Like they
were actually physicists working. Yeah, they consulted physicists when doing some of this stuff.
And they actually multiple scientific papers, I believe, were published as a consequence of sort of the work done to simulate these things. Like this is them trying to sort of give a
cinematic graphic.
Yeah, a cinematic grasp of sort of what's happening. And so you have to actually numerically simulate this. And in the process of like figuring out how to do that, they had to develop new methods of doing numerical simulation at this level of precision, and papers were published on it. They weren't like published by like the director of Interstellar. They were published by like Kip Thorne and his graduate students. But yeah.
Daryl Frost says evidence for a Big Bang is just an interpretation, not true. Fight me.
Okay, but I mean, I'll fight you, but it'll be on a chessboard, Daryl. Huh. Daryl and I like to play chess. It's great.
Professor Parks wants to know if they're talking about loop quantum gravity.
No, they're not.
They don't know what that is.
They do not know what that is.
I mean, I barely know what that is. Leo probably knows what loop quantum gravity is better than me, because it's not something I've spent any time even like casually reading up on. So
it's an interesting idea. It comes from Carlo Rovelli, but I'm not going to get into details because I don't think it's necessary to do that.
Fair.
Of ancient myths, suggesting that, in essence, they may hold a closer connection to the truth than our modern interpretations. Let's delve into the specifics. According to researchers, the chaotic state preceding the birth of our universe was a multitude of quantum particles existing in superposition. The transformative influence...
According to researchers, you're not going to get a consensus on or if the term before our universe is like a sentence that has content. Mm-hmm. Some of them will say yes, but a lot of them will say no. And it depends a lot on the specifics of what you're talking about.
I feel like most experts on early universe physics, not all of them, but most of them, would say something like the earliest that we can really theorize happened is something like an inflaton field, the potential of an inflaton field decaying, leading to a supercooling and exponential expansion of space that at some point stopped for reasons we're not really quite aware of, and that's where you get into concepts of eternal inflation. Does it ever actually stop? Yeah, I think that they'd say something like that. And then that, once it did stop, the universe reheated, and that is what we call the Big Bang phase, is the reheating phase following inflation.
Interesting. I'm not sure. I think some people might say the Big Bang started and like the inflation was a phase of the Big Bang, but
some people say that. I don't, because a lot of the cosmologists I've talked to differentiate between the reheating period and inflation, and usually the term Big Bang tends to refer to that reheating period that follows the inflationary epoch.
Good to know.
Oh, Titan wants to remind everybody that if you get your quantum particles in superposition, you can open a vortex to a higher frequency vibrational framework. That's probably the actual Big Bang.
It's just like Deepak Chopra said, according to quantum mechanics, anything can happen at any time for absolutely no reason.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna...
that shaped this chaos into our reality was not a divine figure, but the gravitational pull of a black hole. The implications of this perspective include profound questions about the nature of our world's creation.
Oh my God. I'm done over here. Where did this black hole come from? I thought it was just quantum particles in a superposition. That's not a black hole. So
it's it's the universe creating entity.
But I thought that was quantum. They said that was quantum particles in a superposition.
Well, yeah, but quantum particles in a superposition are black holes. Okay? It's like you've never even heard of the ER-EPR correspondence.
Oh my God, dude, if I hear that in this video.
I don't know if it comes up.
I might get angry.
This is because the rules of the quantum world are vastly divergent from everyday experiences, and they challenge conventional understanding. In the quantum realm, particles behave as waves of probabilities until observed, at which point they assume a specific, measurable state. This departure from our definite reality, where existence persists regardless of observation, introduces a philosophical paradox. Far from a theoretical construct.
Okay, so they were alluding to the idea that there is not a sort of an intrinsic fundamental reality of like a particular configuration of a system before an observation or a measurement. This is sort of, I think, generally classified as the measurement problem. And I don't think it's a real problem. I think it's a fake problem because I think that decoherence and like Everettian multiverse interpretations make perfect sense of all of this. I don't think that there is any expectation that like there is that like the idea that there is some fundamental reality. I don't see why that has to be the case. Like that it's a priori determined what you will measure before you measure it. That's what I mean. I don't mean that
Yeah.
there's just like nothing and it's all nonsense and imagination. I'm saying that before you measure it, it is not even well defined to say that it has a
Physical reality is there, but it doesn't have any definite properties you can use to understand like what's going on because you haven't.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be because you haven't related to the system. The reason you can't observe superpositions, which like the measurement problem is really just a question, why don't we observe superpositions? Why is it every time we actually have an observation or a measurement, and then no, that does not mean specifically from consciousness.
Yes.
We have
yes,
something definite
correct.
there that we measure. We don't ever measure the superposition. Why?
It's not one of the options.
I would say it's because superpositions are unobservable. The whole concept of a superposition isn't something that you measure. That's not the way it works. The system is in a superposition because
it hasn't been.
It hasn't related to its environment in any way through which some sort of definite measurement could be made in the first place. But you can relate to a system in multiple different ways and get multiple different results, and all of them will be equally valid because that's just the way the world works. Like, I don't think there's some underlying explanation for why the world works this way. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah,
that's
and I think I would agree. I think every time we can provide an answer or an explanation to be like, things work this way because of this sort of more fundamental mechanism or theory, that's great. I love it when we can do that. I also think it's to me, it seems obvious, although I'm doing philosophy now and not science, it seems kind of obvious that that's going to run into a problem somewhere because you have to start with something somewhere. Unless it's all circular, which is worse.
Confined to laboratories, the quantum world constitutes the fabric of our reality. According to this paradigm, the universe comprised tiny quantum particles existing as waves in superposition before an observer shaped it into its present form. Identifying this observer has become a critical quest undertaken by scientists from the University of Chicago.
What the fuck?
Okay, so my impression of what was just said was there was a bunch of quantum particles that were unobserved, and then somebody observed them and universe happened. That is not remotely what anybody is thinking. That doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about that.
The right answers sometimes may not be satisfying to you.
Yes.
But your dissatisfaction with an answer says nothing about its truth.
Yeah.
So
reality,
the universe just existing and literally that's it might be unsatisfying, but I'm sorry, that's probably the way that it is, though.
I feel like there's almost got to be on some level something that is like that's the way it is. I also agree that you should never use that as a reason to stop trying to learn more.
Yeah.
Because anytime you do say that, you're probably wrong. Like, probably, I think.
And it is my personal belief as a naturalist that explanations, particularly for like the physical world and things in it, are going to ground out somewhere. Like, explanations aren't a feature of the world that we find. They're abstractions in our minds that are generally the result of relations between states or systems that give mechanistic reasons why certain things happen a certain way. But if it's the case, and not everybody believes this, but if it's the case that the natural world is all that's there, then yeah, explanations are going to ground out somewhere, and they're probably going to ground out in fundamental reality. And at that level, those things just are the way they are because that's the way they are. There isn't anything further that which could be appealed to explain why they are the way they are. That's just the way that it is. And
Yeah.
to me, I don't see that as dissatisfying because I don't hold to any broader philosophical principle whereby my worldview requires explanations for all things, like some sort of, PSR, principle of sufficient reason, or something like that. I don't do that. I think explanation grounds out somewhere. There is at least one thing that is literally unexplained, and I think that's the universe.
Yeah.
Not just unexplained, inexplicable. That has no explanation to find.
Yeah.
And Princeton University. By a collaborative effort, they seek to unravel the mystery behind the transformative force bridging the quantum and observable realms. The team, comprising Robert Wald, Gamsetis Chandran,
What?
and Dane Danielson.
What? We observe things in the quantum realm. What?
It is, yes, we absolutely do. I mean, and everything is in the quantum realm, but I can understand what you mean vaguely, but we observe things in the quantum realm all the time. I mean, it is my day job.
And we were just talking about how doing so removes the superposition. Like, what?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's my day job too. Sorry, I'm human resources. People bitch at me for a living.
That's fair. Yeah.
Embarked on a fascinating inquiry. What happens if an alleged observer is positioned beyond the event horizon of a black hole? The integral aspect is that anything entering this region, including information, becomes irretrievable.
If it's past the event horizon.
Like on the inside or on the outside? Like they haven't actually set up
inside.
the problem well enough.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
Consequently, while information horizon of a black hole. The integral aspect is that anything entering this region, including information, becomes irretrievable.
And
consequently, while information...
That's not
They're
technically true because Hawking radiation is...
They're gonna flesh this out a little bit. So let's let them cook for a moment, and then we can talk about the information.
Try to cook, but like burn the food, yeah.
Oh, Daryl Cross says the particles themselves observe themselves into existence.
Well, nothing comes into existence. It either exists or it doesn't. Like that, just ontic actualization, as I call it, is not a thing.
And Brie has a really important question here. If you were a breed of dog, what breed of dog would you be?
That's a good question. I want to answer it, but like I need time to think. I got to go through some of the breeds in my head. I'm not really a dog guy. I mean, I do like dogs, but I'm not.
Poll for the chat.
Really...
Oh, poll
for the chat on what.
Well,
type
I mean,
of
I
dog
only get 4, and there's just so many breeds. Chat.
Yeah.
What kind of? I'm going for Chihuahua. But what kind of dog would Leo be? Chat. We'll see what the.
I'm kind of more curious, like what other people think. Jack Russell Terrier. Yeah,
Jack
maybe.
Russell Terrier. Daryl Frost is this dog. I don't know if Leo would be a Daryl Frost, but
the flying dog. Yeah, no, because his little icon is a flying dog. It's adorable.
Adorable. Oh, right. Gotcha. You know what? I almost forgot. And while you guys are doing that, Jester, Lord of Fools, for $5 says, one probably shouldn't talk about depacking your chauffeur at work. I also predict that Tap will say, Maya, Maya, Maya. It's all about Maya for money. For the money. Say it.
Maya, Maya, Maya. It's all about Maya.
Indeed.
Maya is our queen goddess.
It is shepherd, a whippet.
You mean goddess queen?
I am queen of the goddesses, goddammit.
There you
go. Wouldn't you rather be goddess of the queens?
Including information becomes irretrievable.
And all the
consequently,
other
while information can travel from a quantum particle to an observer within a black hole, the reverse seems impossible. This dilemma led scientists to grapple with the black hole information paradox. The mystery arises from the gradual evaporation of black holes. They emit Hawking radiation, a stream of elementary particles as they shrink and eventually vanish. If information cannot escape the event horizon and the black hole ultimately
Except it can.
evaporates,
You
it implies
just
the
talked about
disappearance
how
of the
it can.
enclosed information.
Yeah. So the black hole information paradox is a real thing that physicists think about. And it's basically like, because when you do the calculation, it seems that information is fundamentally and irretrievably lost at first. That's what it sort of seems like, because the Hawking radiation is random in how it comes out, and it doesn't like supposedly carry the information. But people much smarter than I have thought about this, and there was actually a famous bet, I think. I think this was the topic of the bet, on whether information is actually lost.
Oh,
And
wasn't that between Susskind and Hawking, I want to say?
I thought it was
I
Thorne.
know one of them was Leonard Susskind because I've heard him talk about it in his lecture. I'm pretty sure it was a bet with Hawking.
Yeah, it might have been.
I'm have to look that up.
Hawking might have had multiple bets, because I thought it was
think he did.
I thought it was Thorne, but maybe I'm just getting Thorne and Susskind confused. Which is not a thing I should do, but it's go on. What was weak?
So you're being called out.
Oh.
So now you got to bring it home. Who's
Maya! 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 It is all about Maya! Was that better? Did I do the thing? If not, super chat $20 and let me know. Yeah.
So, from Wikipedia,
for $2, you hooligan says Leo is a puddle pointer. Look it up. You'll agree. I'm
a puddle pointer. I don't know what that is. I don't know what.
Sounds
I don't
sexual.
know dogs, dude.
It might be a.
Last time I looked something up, it was like I don't know. It was like a dude sandwich, and I was just like, you know what? I'm never looking anything up again.
It's a breed of dog.
But I wanted to read this really quickly from Wikipedia. Hawking proposed that information is lost in black holes and not preserved in Hawking radiation. Susskind disagreed, arguing that Hawking's conclusions violated one of the most basic scientific laws of the universe, the conservation of information. As Susskind depicts in his book, The Black Hole War was a genuine scientific controversy, quote unquote, between scientists favoring an emphasis on the principles of relativity against those in favor of quantum mechanics. The debate led to the holographic principle proposed by Gerhard Hooft and refined by Susskind, which suggested that the information is in fact preserved, stored on the boundary of a system. And so this is also what led to things like the holographic principle, which is interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah. The holographic principle is very weird. It's like the idea that all of the information in a volume is actually stored in some way on its surface.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's some version of the holographic principle. It's what that means. I'm not entirely sure, honestly, but I'm also a weasel, so.
However, this cannot happen without violating the foundational principles of quantum mechanics.
Which are what?
Thankfully, in 2016, a scientific team headed by Stephen Hawking unraveled the mystery. When a particle falls into a black hole, its information does not vanish beyond the event horizon. Instead, it persists around the black hole as faint radiation. In this form, the particle is termed information-rich halo, or soft hair. This discovery reshaped our understanding of evaporating black holes and their components. In 2023,
I don't understand why this guy brought this all up.
Neither do I. I don't. I'm waiting for the culmination, like you're saying,
right?
All this
research
because
it's like,
well, because this is true, and something else he'll say will be true. Therefore, this wildest accusation that he's about to make at the conclusion must then be true, because we have all these true things. So it couldn't possibly be a non sequitur, because everything leading up to it was true. I don't know what he's saying at all. They're all words.
Well, yeah, most of them are words. I'm not sure all of them are.
Researchers Wald, Sadis Chandron, and Danielson proposed that this...
most of those weren't words. They were names, right?
Yeah. Well, aren't names words?
I'm not sure they are.
Why not?
Why am I here?
If I
Soft
wrote
hair
down
functions
Daniel on a piece
similarly
of
to an
paper.
observer.
No. Pause the video. This
Oh.
is happening. So if I wrote Daniel
Oh,
down on a piece of
boy.
paper,
What
you're
is the
telling
meaning of
me
life?
that that's not a word on a piece of paper? Is that what you're saying?
I think
I'm
there's
saying
a
it doesn't
question
have a
about our
widely agreed
names
upon
words.
meaning, like culturally.
What?
It's. I don't know that a particular name, in the context of it being a name, has a widely agreed upon meaning in a language.
Sure. There's words
I-
that have no meaning. Like Gluberschlacht. That doesn't mean anything, but it's still a word if I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Is it though?
Okay.
Yes.
Like, okay, that's one. Okay, that is one theory or model of what a
Theory
word
of
is.
words.
I'm going to adopt a different convention for how words work. And in my convention, they have to be things that it would make sense on some level to have a definition in like a dictionary for. And defining
Yeah,
a name in a
you're of the
dictionary doesn't
opinion
make
that
any
words
sense.
have meaning. That if it doesn't have like any meaning, that what is it a word, or is it just like?
That is
Because
now my position. That's not
yeah,
like
because some
actually my
people,
position.
because if you got to think if you argue that you can have words without meaning, then if I wrote the whole alphabet down, is that a word, or is it just a collection of letters? Like, are all words just collection of letters, or do they require? Anyway, yeah, that's philosophy of language. We're not doing that right now, so
Oh my
I'll
God.
stop.
And somebody just gave us $20 to say something that's totally off topic. Oh no. Hats off to you. Didn't foresee you trekking through my Brady Bunch jest. All right, $20 from Jester, Lord of Fools, because you asked for it.
This is just ask for it. Be like, hey, chat.
You know
If
what?
you
You didn't even
can.
have to go tits out for it this time. I am so proud of you.
I just had to like shout and gutturalize. It doesn't matter. I'll press play.
Observer regarding particles beyond the event horizon. According to their hypothesis, when a particle traverses the event horizon, soft hair records the event and the subsequent trajectory within the black hole. This radiation, they argue, induces a transition from the quantum world's ambiguity to our reality outside the event horizon.
That sentence had so many red flags in it.
This whole thing over the last 30 seconds is really a phenomenon in how people kind of sort of understand what they're talking about, but still don't really know what they're talking about, but talk
They
about
know
it
where
anyway.
to go to find sentences that are written by people who kind of understand what they're talking about. Okay, the people who wrote the stuff that they're saying now, or the basis for it, understand the stuff pretty well, and there are flavors of like solid, good, interesting things in what they're talking about. Like the holographic principle is very interesting.
Hawking radiation is very
Hawking radiation and the relationship between what you can say about a particle inside the event horizon and outside the event horizon is it's a fundamentally very interesting question, and there are a lot of like funky things that can happen in these situations, but it's a lot cooler when you know all the math.
yeah.
And these and if you're completely unwilling to accept that this is a thing that is best described with math, I'm just like, oh no, we're gonna talk about how we all need to raise our fundamental vibration at the end of this in 30 seconds, aren't we? And I'm just, why are you like this?
Well, you have to align your chakras first. You know this. We just got finished talking about it in Mark's stream. Well, in our stream with Mark, sorry.
Why are you like this, Maya?
Welcome to Bad Science Sunday.
This perspective illustrates the black hole as a potent force shaping the physical manifestation of quantum particles, similar to an omnipotent deity. However,
What?
Huh?
What?
Whoa.
Like,
Wait, where did
You
that
know,
come from?
if black holes exist, there should be no evil. Because black holes are like an omnipotent deity. So let me just go on the record and say,
oh. the first half of that sentence was like, you're like saying things in like an overly poetic way that I don't like because I don't think you understand what you're talking about at all. But then it just hard right turn.
Yeah, going
don't
fast
like it.
and going left. That's yep. Anyway, Sydney Raptor did say something in the chat that I think is
Oh yeah,
actually an
really
important
quick
point.
though. Daddy Lust has a question for you.
Well, technically, yes. I think magnetism plays a role in how computers
I don't
and
need
stuff
any of your
operate.
nonsense about this topic, Leo. Magnets are demons from hell, and that is
When
the
did you
official
become an
stance.
evangelical?
I am a
Since
doctor,
he,
and
yeah,
I am
since
here to
probably about
use and
this
abuse
year when
my
the
physics
chat
knowledge against
just started
magnets.
haunting his dreams with magnets.
What did Sydney Raptor say? They didn't ask me, did they?
He said Hawking radiation comes from just outside the event horizon, not within it. That is correct.
Yes, it's
It's
like
just that because it's the mass of the black hole that's causing the wonkiness in the quantum fields that produces the radiation. It still carries that mass is being carried away. I hate using that terminology. I hate it because nothing's carrying anything. That's not how it works. But we're limited by language, particularly when we're talking about reality at very non-intuitive scales. And thus the black hole shrinks.
Yeah, I think the idea is that you have a particle, a matter antimatter particle
Oh,
pair.
please don't. No.
Or is that not it? Okay.
That is the way that Stephen Hawking put it in the one book.
Okay.
That's not really how it
already.
works.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't know.
I'll link you an article that Ethan Siegel wrote. He's a PhD astrophysicist.
No, I love
he
Ethan Siegel.
explains it really, really well. Like fancy way of talking about it that's not
I've
really
never
accurate.
really studied it.
But here's how it really works, and it's way more fucking interesting anyway. So
that makes sense. I've never really studied it. I did read that Hawking book when I was in like middle school though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the chat has decided that God was therefore made by magnets.
That seems plausible.
So does that mean then that God is a magnet?
That also seems plausible. It explains my suffering quite well.
All right.
I think chat might be onto something.
Remember to lick and describe.
God hates me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The analogy doesn't imply our universe resembles a congregation of aisles around black holes in an infinite expanse of quantum.
What is the analogy? I mean, I know that we keep on interrupting this guy, but
he's saying nothing informative, so that's why.
That's fair enough, yeah. How did you fit that many in there? Like, they normally take up more characters than that.
Do they though?
Quantum particles.
Normally I thought emojis take up 10 characters each, so you can only fit in 20, and that was way more than 20.
It was way more than 20. Way to troll.
This is because the concept of distance, inherent in our reality, doesn't apply to the quantum world. Experiments have
Wait, whoa, no, play that one more time for me.
Inherent in our expanse of quantum particles. This is because the concept of distance, inherent in our reality, doesn't apply to the quantum world.
I get where he's trying to go.
Can you explain that, somebody?
I get where he's trying to go in saying that, but it's...
What does it mean?
Not really
I think
true.
He's saying that, like, quantum objects are, like, extended over all space, but, like, if something happens, it changes the wave function. The wave function changes, or like
come on, fat boy.
Projects
the distance.
Instantaneously.
I'm talking to my cat, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can probably hear him.
But I honestly, I still don't even see that, because you're still talking about things like sort of a kind of non-local effect. The collapse of the wave function, for lack of a better term, that happens sort of over extended distances, but that doesn't mean the concept of distance is nonsense or something, or is not in the quantum world. That doesn't make any sense. What do you think he means?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like he's trying to get to this idea that space is kind of a little bit of a fuzzier concept at the quantum scale, which is true.
Yeah,
Space isn't as defined as a concept as it is in our everyday lives, but that doesn't mean that distance as a concept, that things being closer to or further from one another, isn't relevant at the quantum scale. It definitely is. That's part of like how protons work. Like you need to understand some notion of distance.
It's part of how all the forces work. Like all the forces have ranges, and they behave differently depending on how close two particles are, and it's like saying that quantum mechanics doesn't occur in like 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional space.
Pretty sure that's how we do quantum field theories, that it's done in the background of a 4D space-time.
That's kind of how the whole thing works. Exactly. Yeah, it's all about, I mean, the dimensionality of space-time is it's one of the fundamental building blocks of kind of any theory of physics, because we live in a world with space and time. Like, they show up, turns out.
So Nick wants to know if if Leo just said that black holes were programmed. If so, does that mean there must be a programmer? And the rest of the chat wants to know that if the black hole is programmed by a programmer, do we have to start worshiping it now?
None of those.
Oh.
Hold on. This is a cult. You have two objects of worship. Myself and Maya. Maya comes first. I should have said Maya first. I really apologize, Maya. Please don't remove me from the scene. Okay,
no,
I didn't mean
you
to
worship
do that.
me. Like, let's not get it twisted. And then possibly this black hole that I may or may not have created.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the black hole. Yeah, that tracks. Moving on.
Me? I'm the black hole. I'm the only white person here.
Until we get him out of the scene, it's Hey, Leo, you're a white person.
Am I?
Hey, you insist on being a black person, you have to be a white person too.
I mean, I'm kind of both mixed together.
Exactly.
Kind of like if you take, Hershey syrup and milk, you get chocolate milk. It's chocolate, but it's also milk still. I mean, that's me.
I heard that 7% of Americans thinking chocolate milk comes from like chocolate cows or brown cows or some bullshit.
I'm not going to lie. If I were asked by a pollster to answer that question and I saw that was one of the options,
I might do it.
Right? Like,
just to troll.
Yeah, no.
Yes, totally this.
Yeah.
So you're saying 7% of Americans aren't just like that fucking stupid. They just have that great of a sense of humor.
I'm saying like 5% of them aren't that stupid, and 2% of them definitely are.
Gotcha.
Experiments have repeatedly validated instantaneous information exchange between an observer and a particle at any distance. This emphasizes the distinctive...
No, they're talking about Bell tests. And those manifestly do not involve information exchange. You cannot give somebody a message in any way using wave function collapse and entangled particles. You can't do it. It is not possible.
Yeah, I don't... The way that entanglement is often described, I think, is a bit misled. The best way that I like to describe entanglement is to just say it's multiple quantum states that collectively exist within the same quantum system that is described by the same wave function, such that if you pull information out of that wave function about any one of the states of that system, you will intrinsically have information about the other states. Why would you not? They're a part of the system you're measuring.
Yeah, I've described it before poorly, with the like idea that it's not like flipping two independent coins. It's like flipping one coin and thinking about the two sides of it. Yep. Like, and like asking which one is up and which one is down. and it's like one of them has to be up and one of them has to be down, or it's not yet determined, and then neither of them is either. But well, it is your explanation there actually made sense. Like that the fundamental property is that it is a wave function of the system. It is not a collection of individual wave functions. It is necessarily the configuration of the system. So if you know about one part, then that is indicating information about other parts because they're part of the same thing. And that's exactly like what entanglement is, or at least it's a large part of it. The again, it's one of these things that, like, when you sit, if you know how to do the math, the math is so utterly unmysterious. It's like, oh yeah, this is very clearly like how this math makes sense. And then it's
Math
sort
is
of the
hard, though.
connection with reality. Yeah, that's fair. But it's also very easy. You're able to solve way more complicated specific problems with, like, in a mathematical context than you can in non-mathematical context, because you're able to be more precise and actually still be speaking about the same thing and like speaking the same language. Whereas when you're talking about um anything that isn't math, like human experiences for the most part, sometimes two people are using the same word and they just are not remotely talking about the same thing.
I do want to thank Left-Handed Jedi for gifting us 10 more cult members. And I'm going to try to talk or read, and, reading be hard, not as hard as math, though. So our 10 newest cultists are Clifford, the Alpha and Omega dog newsletters, Dasalante Kreskel, Dunk, Chilling in the Sun, Jim, K. Danny B, Russian words there, Left Hand, no, Mashmade, Optic, and Andrew Knight. Yes. All right, new cult members. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. And please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Thanks again, Jedi.
Beautiful.
Nature of the quantum realm. For example, in 2017, the Chinese satellite Misius successfully transmitted entangled photons from orbit to 3 ground stations no less than 1,200 kilometers apart. When experts at one station acted as observers and measured one of the photons, the particles in the other locations lost their quantum properties. Notably, this distance is far from the limit.
Nothing about what you just described is an exchange of information. You can't use that to send a message. It seems like you can, but the thing is, you don't have any control over what the result is when you measure. If you could control what you were going to get when you measure, then you could send a message, but you can't do that without destroying the entanglement. So, I know, like, it's entanglement is one of the it is, I think, fundamentally one of the harder to grasp details of quantum mechanics, because it has subtleties and implications that are not obvious at first.
Corner of the universe could be potentially connected to the hair of one of the black holes that shape our reality. However, a significant concern arises as black holes generally gradually undergo evaporation. For instance, according to current science...
Can somebody, like, confirm or denounce Daryl's accusation here? He's very adamant that entanglement is not a thing.
If it's not a thing, I don't know why it's taught in almost every quantum mechanics course on the planet, and why physicists consistently do experiments with it.
Yeah, I don't so entanglement means entanglement means that if you make a measurement over here and you have an entangled particle over here, that you will be able to predict the complementary measurement in a non-classical way. There are subtleties about it that involve the basically the statistics and the frequency of how the measurements will line up if you make small adjustments. So if you have two entangled photons, then you might know that if you measure a polarization one way, then the other one will have a polarization measurement give it the opposite way. And you can do this with single photon counters, and by sending a particular like a blue laser light at 405 nanometers through a crystal of borium baronitrate or something. I can't remember what it's called. It's a BBO crystal though, and it will send off two photons, each going off at a half angle of I think like 11.5 degrees. That are half of the wavelength, and you can send them both through polarizing beam splitters that are then aimed at multiple single photon counters, and you can show that yes, you're generating pairs of photons at the same time because they're detecting single photons at particular times. Although you have to turn off the light in the room of the experiment, and you also have to turn off the monitor on the damn computer. It's super annoying. I have done these experiments. Entanglement is a particular property that
It's a fundamental property, I would say, of quantum mechanics.
Is described, and yes, it's a fundamental property of quantum mechanics that does not make sense classically. Entanglement and entanglement and Bell tests rule out a locally real theory. It has to have both of those quantities. Locality means that the only thing that affects a particular the properties of like stuff or space itself in a particular like region of space, they're only affected by its immediate neighborhood and things that like propagate into its immediate neighborhood from at the speed of light. Entangled things are different in that they're sort of non-local, but they are also not sending information. There's no actual propagation of information, and that's so counterintuitive. And then real is a property sort of about like if it's actually undetermined what a measurement would be. And these two together, like they turn out to predict different things if entanglement in this non-classical, fundamentally non-classical way, then you would be able to make a measurement on photon polarizations where if you change a thing in the lab, a wave plate, then you can change the mathematical correlation, and if you still measure coincidences at a certain of the photons, you can very easily, it takes about 45 seconds to rule out classical explanations to over 200 standard deviations.
So that would give you 100% entanglement with no question, but we don't get that. Bell's inequality is statistical, and many observations are rejected.
What is 100% entanglement supposed to mean?
I don't know what that means either.
Don't look at me.
That could probably mean something. I can think of several ways in which like I could write down something on a piece of paper and be like, yeah, so like if you bring that parameter up to 1, then it's because it could be, you could be in a superposition of a entangled state and a pure state.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well,
that's not true. We can entangle all sorts of things other than
they've done it with atoms. I think they've even done it with molecules.
Yeah.
Well, I answered your question. So everybody remember to like and subscribe.
There will be a test on Wednesday.
The supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius, is expected to vanish completely.
Its name is not Sagittarius. Its name is
Sagittarius A*.
And even then, technically, that might not be the name of like the black hole, but it totally is. It's totally the name of the black hole.
Yes.
In about
By the way, the reason it's called that is because there's like a star in Sagittarius. Or no, it's in the constellation of Sagittarius, and it was like a notable thing that somebody wrote down on like a list, and it was the first one they wrote down, which is why it's A, I think. And then they also were like, this is really interesting, so they put an asterisk next to it, and everybody just kept on going. Yeah, science
Oh
is
wait,
weird.
is that how that happened?
It literally, that is how a lot of things happen. It's somebody writes down a thing in their lab report, and they, because they're taking, they're measuring a bunch of different things in the sky, and they have to list them, and they will literally list them. Okay, in this chunk we have object A, object B, object C, and then this is on Wikipedia. I've totally told details of this story that are just obviously wrong, but I said them confidently because I want people to believe me. Because I know Daryl never will, and I'm very fragile, my ego. So
So since the chat, I know we're like never going to get through this video, but the chat's asking questions. Did Einstein say the speed of light was the speed limit?
Well, I don't know if
yeah,
Einstein ever actually said that, but it is.
he probably did. I would be like a little surprised if he never said something almost
Along those
verbatim
lines.
as the speed of
Yeah.
light is the speed limit. Like that seems like a sentence that he would have said at some point.
Or at least like believed and worked with as
Yeah.
true.
So yes, and as far as we know, the speed of light is more fundamental than being the speed that light propagates at. The speed of light
It's a
is, I
restriction
think,
given by space-time. Photons just
yeah,
happen to obey it.
I would say perhaps a little bit poetically that the speed of light is really the speed of causality. It there it, there's you and fundamentally it seems to be because there's a speed of how things can go, or propagations of space and space-time. There's this relationship between time and space that puts a limit on how fast things can move.
The way that I like to word it, if I'm ever asked, like, why can't you go faster than the speed of light? Um, it comes down to how the structure of space-time itself changes for frames that are moving at the speed of light. As you begin to accelerate in space-time, if you were looking at this like actually on a graph, like a two-dimensional coordinate space with the x-axis being space, the y-axis being time, as you accelerate towards the speed of light would be a 45-degree angle coming out from the origin point outward. As you begin to accelerate, those two axes are going to start to collapse onto that center line. So as you approach the speed of light, lengths in the direction of your travel begin to contract towards zero, and your clock slows down to the point that it no longer ticks once you're at the speed of light, which means that at the speed of light, there is no more space time for you to go faster into. What does it mean to accelerate? To move into different points in space time at an increasing rate. But if there's no more space time for you to do that, you can't go faster.
Yeah.
You have no more space time to go faster into. And that's why
Yeah.
you can't exceed the speed of light.
Interesting. Oh God, somebody.
The speed of light is the length of space, Daryl said. I don't know what that means.
I
Yeah, I
don't know what that
saw
means either.
that. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to because I'm like, I don't know if there's an answer to that, but
What does speed of causality mean? It's the
oh,
speed of,
that was yeah. Thank you. That
The
was
speed
the
at which any sort of physical interaction between any forms of physical information can travel through any
yeah.
distance in space-time.
It is, yeah. It's sort of the speed limit on which it makes any, like in which it is possible for a thing here to have caused anything over here. If they're really far apart and the time difference is short enough, it's not possible for a thing here to have caused a thing over here. By the way, if there's a wormhole, then that means that there's a path where it's actually shorter than that. That doesn't actually violate any of this. That just means that you're able to like fold and make things more complicated. But things are still propagating sort of through the local space. That everything that we know about has a speed limit of c.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Last question. Spooky is asking for a friend.
I don't understand. The speed of, like, what is the speed of electromagnetism? Well,
No, no,
that would be the speed
no,
of light, because that
no,
would be
no,
light.
no, no, no. This is just for Tapioca Weasel.
The speed of light. It's electromagnetic. I don't. Magnets are the devil. Magnets are of the devil and by the devil
And for the devil.
and for the devil. Y'all are devils.
Hey, Spooky. Welcome to the stream.
On Google years. Recent revelations from these enigmatic celestial entities have surprised astronomers. In 2022, astronomers identified the first wandering black hole in history, traversing the Milky Way. Additionally, they observed...
I actually don't know if I heard about this or saw this or read about this, and it sounds really cool.
Wait, what is it?
identified the first wandering black hole in history, traversing the Milky Way.
It also sounds horrifying. Like, so what this is basically, this is just like
there's a black hole out there,
just like
just wandering.
And it's just like moving, and it's not like localized in like a cluster with like a bunch of other stuff.
I'm sorry.
But it's super cool because like if you just stare at a spot in the sky, this is also how we detect rogue planets actually. If you just stare at like a little tiny
pirate planets would have been a way better word or term.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, yeah. But like if you just stare at a faint star, occasionally it'll just get brighter. And the only explanation, like briefly, and like the best explanation that we have based on how fast we expect like bodies like planets and stuff that have been ejected from star systems and moving around the galaxy is that what's happening is a planet is actually going in a rogue planet, not orbiting any star, goes in front of our line of sight to this like faint little distant star, and you get during that transit you get some gravitational lensing. Mm-hmm. And so it actually it gets brighter.
So great.
It's so cool.
So amazing.
But if a rogue planet just like came into the solar system, it would probably be fine. Like probably everything would be fine. If a rogue black hole came into the solar system, like probably that
depends on its mass.
I was going to say, well, I mean, the planet too. I mean, it would depending on which planets it was around. I mean, I think aren't a lot of moons thought to be rogue planets, but
yeah, but I mean, if you aim up, if you know that it is between the mass of Mercury and Jupiter,
mm-hmm.
and you throw it on average from any direction,
mm-hmm.
And with like a range of velocities through our solar system, 99% of the time, beyond 99% of the time, humanity is totally fine, and we're just like, hey, that's really cool. Holy crap, what?
Okay, so you're talking about a black hole, not a planet, right?
I'm talking about a planet. A black hole.
Okay, planet. Yeah, okay. Planet would be cool. A black hole in the solar system would be a little more. I mean, it's not like we're going to see a black hole
because
circling a planet.
The black holes that we understand have the mass of stars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there are other black holes with much lower masses, those would probably be fine, and we wouldn't even notice.
Leo, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I feel like you totally did. Oh, it totally looks like you had your hand up, and I was like, that's so un-Leo-like.
Right? I was just like, wait, what? For $5, Vandalia says, can't stay in chat, but we'll see you next week if you're still on, unless something happens. So, yeah, Vandalia and Bree will be on next week, and we'll be doing something with Roger.
Woo! Oh, man, we haven't done Roger for a hot minute.
Roger. I wanted to say something. We kind of moved a little past speed of light and relativity, but I still wanted to say something because it's really fucking cool. Okay. So time. Let's talk about time for a couple minutes.
For fuck's sake!
Time does not move. Time does not flow. That's not what time does. That's not space. Doesn't do that either. You move through space-time, and you move through time, just like you move through space. And if you are not moving relative to some object, like me with this chair, then relative to that chair, I'm moving through time at the speed of light. 1 second per second. So almost all of us right now are blasting through time at the speed of light right now. And as you accelerate through space, your movement through time proportionately drops. And as you slow down, they change proportional to each other. The more you move in space, the less you move through time. The more you move through time, the less you're moving through space. Which is why if you're completely stationary, you're moving through time at the speed of light. And if you're moving through space at the speed of light, your clock isn't ticking.
Okay, but
Well,
stationary with
relative
respect
to
what?
outside observers who measure your time compared to theirs, they would see your clock as not ticking.
So you're saying that in your Glober Shill representation of science, let me call it, that if two people are moving, that they will both see the other person's clock is ticking slower? Is that what you're saying?
Relative to their own, yes.
Okay, yeah, but that's obviously nonsense, and therefore Einstein is wrong.
Einstein is totally wrong. I don't know why anybody thought that idiot had any good ideas.
It's because relativity is a mind fuck. It's a total mind.
It really
What I
is.
just
I
described
love
is
it.
exactly what it is. Exactly what it predicts. It is exactly what we observe. And when you sit down and you do it, your every part of your brain is like, yeah, but hold on, that doesn't make any sense. I evolved for billions of years to tell you this doesn't make any sense. And it's like, it's relativity.
Listen here, bucko. I've
very
never moved
difficult.
at a relativistic speed in my life, but here's what I can tell you.
But it really is amazing and maddening at the same time.
It really, relativity just, you're just like, wow. Is that really how this works?
Really? It's like, is that
Wow,
really
okay.
how it works?
Like, damn. Like, damn.
You guys
reality
are
got
just trying to get
hands.
around Purple's question.
What? I don't do Star Trek. I've never watched an episode of Star Trek in my life.
How is it like toilet paper? It's completely indispensable for me to live my life.
Or is Starship Enterprise Star Wars? See, I don't even fucking know. That's how little I don't watch that stuff. I just know.
I don't actually Starship. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, now we have a starship called the
I
Starship.
believe those are formerly called
Elon Musk.
Bangleberries.
Oh,
Moving on.
that was pretty funny.
Additionally, they observed an unanticipated magnetic reversal executed by one of these space giants. The looming question is, what happens if black holes disappear, leaving our universe without an observer? When the link between an observer and a particle...
What? Right? Like that. It's like the person that you had look over your video to like check and make sure all the sentences at least had like a grain of truth. We're just like, oh, I missed that one. I didn't see it.
I guess black holes are omnipresent. Watch out, guys. Black holes are observing you when you're touching yourself. You better stop.
Yeah.
I told you. Black hole, like if black holes exist, there should just be no evil, because I guess they're just God. Like, I really feel like they're saying black holes are God. Haha! We figured it out.
As far as I can tell, that does seem to be the thesis. Yeah.
Is severed, the quantum object reverts to a superposition state.
Oh my God.
In such a scenario, if a black hole fades away, the universe, along with its inhabitants, might cease to exist. Or perhaps not.
Oh my God, the universe will have already faded away before black holes have. What are you talking about? That's like the last thing to go is the black hole.
It is absolutely the last thing to go. In the heat death of the universe, you have everything is just isolated completely from everything else. The last thing to like decay into a bunch of random isolated photons are supermassive black holes. They take like a
10 to like the 120th year, like over a Google years to like
it's
leave
over,
the party. Okay,
it is a lot of time. Like
they are the late nighters. We'll put it that way, or should I say the early morningers? I don't really know. They mean the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, is the glass half empty or half full? Those mean the same thing. Oh God, you didn't realize that one, did you?
That was beautiful, Leo. By the way, Leo, are you a Leo?
I am, yes. I was born the 1st of August. The best goddamn day to be born in the whole fucking year.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Alternatively, a quantum particle could be observed by another particle. The crucial question becomes, what physical shape would the world around us assume if random...
Oh no, the mom got taken into the vortex of death.
The crucial question becomes,
what are they breathing? Well, I guess,
buddy,
there's a lot of
you
air
got me,
between
man.
us.
You got me. God magic from the black hole.
God magic.
Yeah.
what physical shape would the world around us assume if random particles acted as observers? Surprisingly, the situation of random...
So, I
what would the
feel
universe
that.
look like if particles did the thing they do all the
Exactly.
fucking
Like,
time?
the Steelman version of that is, you mean interact with stuff? It would look like it does. Because the thing is, that
was funny.
both Leo and I, the thing is, neither Leo or I, as I understand your position at least, are of the opinion that, like, the measurement problem is, like, fundamentally a well-defined, like, actual problem, and not just kind of, that's just, like...
We're just not sure how reality actually works yet, quite honestly.
Yeah, like, foundations of quantum mechanics are, like, they're weird, but I don't think they're weird necessarily in that way. For my biggest issue with, like, the idea that, you know, different branches of the wave function are actually extant are that some of those seem like some pretty dark places. But then 2016 happened, and I was like, well, you know, this is a pretty dark place.
Yeah. It's going to be a darker place.
Particles as observed.
Comrade Kamala 2024. Let's go. Let's get it. Socialism for the win. Yes. Everybody loves communism.
Everybody get out, vote, bring a friend.
Our world into chaos. However, some scientists remain skeptical, with physicist Roger Penrose from Oxford University asserting that we may not require any observers
Here
at all.
I am to completely
In the latter part of the
misunderstand
20th
what
century.
this physicist said.
He looks like a witch. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like the protrusion.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
The chin, the nose isn't pointed. Which it would have to
what
be.
you're trying to say is he looks British.
Yeah, the British all have protrusions.
What's going on here?
Well, maybe just a little bit, like most.
Okay,
maybe not
we'll
all,
stop because Maya's about to yell at us for good reason.
Penrose arrived at a conclusion similar.
Like, I wouldn't mind an emotional support European just in case Kamala doesn't win. Just say it.
Roger Penrose is fantastic. If he can
is.
be my emotional support European.
He has also had a lot of wrong ideas, but he is great.
Yes, but you know he's earned those wrong ideas.
he has. Okay.
This is
similar to that
Roger
of
Penrose.
Leo Dye.
Roger Penrose, he currently holds, I think it's called the Lucasian Chair at Cambridge.
He's not at Cambridge.
He's not at Cambridge.
He's at Oxford.
Was he okay? He held. I thought. Oh no, that was Hawking.
I think that's who you're.
That was Hawking.
Yeah, Hawking was at Cambridge. He got their whole department named after him, the Stephen Hawking Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge.
And why wouldn't you?
That actually does kind of make sense. He had the same professorship that Isaac Newton had.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But see, Stephen Hawking, unlike Isaac Newton, got fucking laid. I at least imagine so. At least
and
once.
I gotta wonder what that
and once is more than Isaac Newton got laid. So.
God damn.
It's also probably more than he wanted to get laid.
Whoa, we are not talking about this.
Baby, are you ready?
I must solve
this differential
equation. Both scholars centralized on the idea that the shaping of quantum particles is intricately linked to gravity. Put simply, when a quantum object exists in a superposition, all its potential states...
We've got a theory of gravity now, I guess. It shapes our particles.
That's extremely specific and helpful for making calculations and predictions about future experimental data. Thank you, Leo.
Absolutely. Yup. Electrons look like
somehow communicate through gravitational interactions.
Somehow.
Consequently, the particle initiates self-observation and assumes one of its possible forms. Although this theory appears to clash with the results of scientific experiments, the crux lies in the difficulty of preserving quantum superposition.
We got it. Go back about 10 seconds.
Self-observation and assumes
Before? Maybe a little bit more.
interactions. Consequently, the particle initiates self-observation and assumes one of its possible forms. Although this theory appears to clash with the results of scientific experiments, the crux...
Assume one of its forms like it's some mutant, like, superhero from a 1990s cartoon or something like that, you know? Like, what?
It's code switching. That's what's happening. Is it switching into a different, like I don't know the details about
I know
how
what you
code
mean by
switching
code
works.
switching, because I've done code switching.
I need help on this topic. But I'm pretty sure that like quantum mechanical particles can totally code switch. They have brains, right?
I don't know if everything is conscious, you know.
Well, Maya.
Electrons have feelings.
Maya.
Am I being brought into this?
Yeah. So you and I both subscribe to Roger's ontology of the universe, right? And
Oh yeah, Jupiter totally like shits planets out of its vag, and that's how we got the solar system. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna say like electrons could totally have brains, right? Because they have glowy parts and like dark parts
and spinny parts. Don't forget
they also
that.
have the electron contains an electron.
But you gotta keep the black ones away from the white ones.
Yeah, you have to. You do you gotta keep
segregation.
Also, something dipoles.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm all rogered up. Was there a question?
It was forgotten, apparently.
Yeah, Roger will do that to you.
Lies in the difficulty of preserving quantum superposition in a controlled setting.
That is hard.
Maintaining a particle in this state requires complete isolation from environmental influences.
That's correct.
Oscar Painter, a professor.
Oscar Painter? What?
We're not talking about.
I feel like this is definitely an AI voice, and it's getting a lot of pronunciations wrong.
I called it.
Painter is an pronunciation.
Oscar Painter.
That's how you pronounce Oscar Painter's name.
I would imagine.
He's Oscar Painter is a professor at Caltech.
Okay, yeah, he is. Okay, yeah.
Hey, is Mark still here? He's a master debater. He does it as often as he
Painter,
can.
Applied Physics, Caltech. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Professor of Applied Physics at the California Institute of Technology humorously suggests refraining from looking at or even breathing on the experiment testing superposition. Physicists typically...
He's breathing on me. Is that what the electron would say since it's conscious?
No, it would probably say, oh no, I better get back into the lab before Oscar Painter yells at me for not being in the lab. Sorry. Man has a reputation. Maya, I told you not to let me talk about this.
Oh, right. Don't get fired. He really wants to like
the optimal conditions.
Shit on this guy that he works with.
I don't work with this guy. Okay, I do not work with this guy. He doesn't even work at Stanford. He works at a completely different university. And
John Fopiano. I'm sorry, buddy, but your last name sounds like a type of Italian bread that I'd really like to try with some garlic butter.
Oh, in the chat. Okay, I was like, Oscar Painter. I mean, because like I can totally imagine Leo eating a lot of paint. It seems like the sort of thing he would do.
Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Oh God.
Why?
No one's eating John.
Particle, such as placing it in a vacuum to avoid the impact of gas molecules. However, even in a vacuum, the effects of gravity are not neutralized. According to Penrose and DI, in such instances, achieving superposition might be.
I mean, it's almost like the reason things fall down is not because of, just density and buoyancy. Flat Earth.
Yeah, buoyancy.
Buoyancy. Oh, God.
Impossible, with gravitational forces potentially causing the particle to collapse into our observable reality. Yet, this collapse isn't...
From where?
Bro,
From
what
where?
if-
Where did it? Is there a door to the universe that non-existent things just walk through and then, hey, look at me, I exist? That's
No,
what?
but like Leo, bro, like what if like reality is just a black hole that got condensed out of another universe? And like that universe is just like a speck under the fingernail of a giant, right? What?
That would be cool.
But-
And I still would not believe in God, so you know, I'd still like physics. I just would not give a shit about this giant at all.
But
I
it
want to be
created
clear.
you. You have
No,
to
he
love
didn't.
it.
No, he didn't. He didn't create me.
Yeah, but then who did?
My parents.
Damn it. I as soon as I said it, I was like, this is a question that's gonna
That's my fault. I set the bar too low.
Instantaneous, suggesting that an observer is still required. According to their research, the absence of black holes would significantly impact the entire universe as we understand it.
I've got a
Unless perhaps an
I've got a
alternative
particle physics joke for you, Vandy.
Okay.
Oh, so you're a particle physicist, huh? Name 8 particles. And then you just respond with gluon.
It's a good
That's
thing
my
that
fault. I set the bar too
It's
low
a
on
really
that
good
one.
thing that you filled in the joke for me because I was not going to take it that way. I was going to be like, I'm not a particle physicist, I'm an atomic physicist. And like Maya was just going to be sitting there being like, why do I have these two just off in their own world jacking each other off?
I knew what I was signing up for when the chat said bring on Leo.
Yeah, so Leo, you and I should start an OnlyFans, is what I'm saying.
Only physics?
That works.
observer exists.
I think we'd actually
In their
probably make, like, just teaching physics naked and erect in front of a camera. Not touching each other, just full buck ass naked. Fully stiff.
Bucket naked.
Going over incline
in the
planes.
nude. Someone help me.
Dude, like actually though, that could be hilarious.
I actually think we'd probably make some money.
Okay. Mine's literally going to like
help me. I don't know how I got here.
Pedro, like the old Greeks.
Like, is there a door or a black hole? For fuck's sake.
Studies Wald, Chandran, and Danielson introduce another
MIT
potential candidate
doesn't
for the
give their
role of an
lectures in
observer.
black hole thermodynamics completely naked and fully erect. We do things differently here at Only Physics.
The world may be self-supervised, or more precise.
Your mind.
I'm gonna need to like upgrade to vodka because like this wine is just not hitting it.
Supervised by its edge. It turns out that quantum particles can be influenced by any horizon that permits information to travel in only one direction.
What does that
Consider,
mean?
for instance, the scenario.
It's time to get physical. Today, we're going to be learning about Lagrangians and why they're so fucking important to, like, everything ever.
Andrew's reading your mind there, Maya. It's like, please, Rogue Black Hole 2024. That's what I'm voting for.
Rogue Black Hole, asteroid. It's like something. Impending lightning bolt. I'll take anything.
Involving a black hole event horizon, an inescapable boundary, or the Rindler horizon. Picture yourself.
I can't remember. What's the Rindler horizon? Do you remember?
I'm about to look it up because I can't remember off the top of my head either. Like probably a lot of physicists.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know if if theoretical physicists would necessarily know. The thing about physics is a big topic. It's a big topic, and it's sort of like if you're in politics and in one state and you don't know who the Secretary of State is in a completely different state. Like, that's not weird. So.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Are you familiar, Vandy, with the metric tensor in general relativity?
A little bit. Less than I
Okay, so,
would be.
and this is just from Wikipedia. The Rindler coordinate chart has a coordinate singularity at x equals 0, where the metric tensor expressed in the Rindler coordinates has a vanishing determinant. So, I mean, that makes kind of some sense to me.
I know what those words mean. I don't know what that.
So a
I don't
Rindler
know, yeah.
horizon is really just a type of horizon or singularity that you have in a specific type of coordinate system called a
Okay.
Rindler coordinate system. It's
Okay,
just
okay,
it's the same
okay.
thing in a different style of coordinate system.
Okay,
Is
yeah.
really all it is. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even register as words to me.
That's not unreasonable. Like, that was a lot of jargon. Like,
yeah, that sentence. It's like, why word it that way? Like, I kind of get what you're saying. Most people have no fucking clue what that.
it's not written for those people, and that's appropriate. Like, that Wikipedia article is for people like me and you, and frankly, people with a little bit more sophistication in those topics than me and you.
Yeah.
Because, like, genuinely, Wikipedia is a fantastic and my favorite first source for basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best, like, first source on average.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it was like usually I'll like people who've never heard of something, I'll send them to Wikipedia because it's like great for lay people. Like it's a very basic, general, here's the gist of it. That sounds like it was like written for a graduate class.
There's genuinely no way to express a lot of those ideas in a useful, more sort of basic way, other than to just literally say it is a topic in this field, which is a topic in this field, which you've heard of in this context. Which,
yeah,
I mean,
and the thing
how'd
with
you end up on that Wikipedia page? Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself in life.
God,
And,
I've
like,
been
the
there
way
so
everybody
many fucking
here ended
times.
up on that Wikipedia page is because this video brought it up, and, like, we're actually
trying to explain
grappling with the fact that I don't know what that is. I'm a physicist. I don't know what the Rindler horizon is. And so it's very reasonable that nobody else hopefully does either, because if they do.
But the thing with relativity broadly is there's a lot of different types of spaces and coordinate systems that are used within it. You have Minkowski space and special relativity, a pseudo-Riemannian manifold and general relativity. You've got Rindler coordinates, you've got killing vectors, you've got all these different types of ways of describing how things change in multiple dimensions. And it's actually pretty mathematically complex. Well,
it's sophisticated.
Complex isn't the right sophisticated. That's a better word.
Sophisticated and complex is I think
meticulous
totally
is a word I like to use. It's
meticulous. Yeah. I feel like it doesn't matter, but it is very intricate. Intricate, I think, might be the best word, because that doesn't have the same value judgments.
That's probably the best term. Very intricate.
Yeah.
Traveling through space with constant acceleration. As your speed increases, there comes a point where even a photon traveling at the speed of light cannot catch up with you. At this juncture, an imaginary boundary materializes behind you.
I guess that is vaguely kind of like what probably happens at an event horizon, because a photon can't catch up with you if it's emitted from inside of an event horizon.
True.
So this.
Okay, I got a serious question. Do you think that a human would survive falling into a black hole?
Depends on the size of the black hole. Depends on what you mean by falling into.
Black hole.
Do you
like
mean
actually going past the event horizon of a supermassive black hole?
I think it is possible that a human could survive falling past the event horizon of a supermassive black hole. Meaning,
if you could breathe.
Yeah,
well, no. I mean, it's somewhat of an idealized situation. You've got a space beyond. You've got oxygen.
They're in a space. They're in a
ship of some sort.
The thing about the event horizon
I heard that, like, when you go to a black hole, you either die fast or very fast.
But you're not going to die fast or very fast until you're at the point where that happens, and that point doesn't happen.
Isn't that true for all things?
Yeah, fair.
Gotcha.
Fair. But the point is that like the spaghettiification and stuff, that
Mhm.
is a tidal effect. That happens when
Yeah.
you're nearby and gravity on your feet is pulling you 1,000 times harder than gravity at your head is. So
Mhm.
you're getting ripped apart because you're getting the bottom of you getting pulled harder faster than the top of you. That doesn't happen at the event horizon.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The
Well,
event horizon is
mhm.
where it sort of, because that is related to how fast sort of the steepness of the gravitational field sort of changes, as opposed to just how steep it is.
Hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, well, yeah, no, but okay, yes. One, yes. And I know about the spaghettification. I also oh god, what was I reading? I don't really know. Because I mean, just saying, I haven't looked into black holes in for quite a while. But isn't there also like a question about what's actually past the event horizon, like whether all the star
Oh yeah,
stuff
we have
actually?
no fucking clue.
I mean, so it
Absolutely
could
zero
just be
clue.
a
It could be
firewall.
a fucking unicorn that says congratulations, you've transcended reality and have reached the singularity. Like we have no fucking clue.
I would say so. I would say that it's not that we have no idea. It is that by
Very, very little
construction
idea.
we have no empirical sort of basis
Basis. Yep.
directly for what's going on in there, other than we have theories that do explain sort of what we expect would happen. Like if you we have theories that give predictions that would be applicable to what if us three got in a room on a spaceship and went into a black hole, those theories might accurately predict what we observe as we're falling into the black hole. They would not. They might. They might not, because we don't know. But the thing is, there's absolutely no way for us to ever get those measurements outside of the black hole. So it's by construction a moot question. Like it doesn't. But that doesn't mean that it's not scientific to talk about what's happening in the black hole, because working out and thinking about these theories can lead to other things that might be applicable. I mean,
No, no, no. I get it. I just I'd heard like a couple of theories about what was in a black hole, and again, I haven't looked into it to a couple of years, so I was trying to like I went
it's
in my mind to I don't know, I was trying to recall.
yeah, we don't know.
However, for $2, Sinister Porpoise also has some things in her mind. She wants to know, wouldn't the radiation kill you if you were that close?
The radiation of the
Accretion disk.
accretion disk would, but not
But
any radiation directly being given off by the black hole, because the only
unless it
radiation,
was
as far as we know, that a black hole gives off is Hawking radiation, and it does that extremely slowly. That's why
inversely
it takes
proportional to
them
its
10
mass.
to the 120th years
It
to fully evaporate.
yeah. My understanding, so yeah, I believe it's inversely proportional to the mass. It might be like to the mass squared or something.
I think it is, because the real tiny quantum scale black holes are supposed to like evaporate like almost instantaneously.
Like if you had a black hole that was 1 gram, that would be dangerous because it would explode.
Yeah.
I think I might be off by several orders of magnitude. A nanogram though would because it would be evaporating so fast because it's so small.
Surface area, so yeah.
That it, and I don't mean fractionally, I mean in an absolute sense, the amount of radiation that it's giving off would increase dramatically, and it would be you basically have like an explosion of some. I guess these would be universal.
Black hole bombs. Let's invent
Yeah,
it.
I guess a black hole bomb. I guess every single one would be exactly the same magnitude, right? Because they all would be caused by exactly the same style of evaporation. Huh, interesting.
Sinister says she's sorry. She's a computer scientist. She doesn't understand large numbers when they're not expressed in powers of 2, much like 1 times 1.
Well, I mean, every 10th power of 2 is just 3 powers of 10, right? Basically, close enough.
Wait, what?
10 to the 1024 is 2 to the 10. 2 to the 10 is 1024.
And 1 times 1 is 2. We have it in
Okay.
good authority from Terrence Howard.
But it sounded like you said every third power of 2 is like the second power.
No,
of
every
You
10th
said
power of
something
2
weird.
is a third power of 10.
Every
Because
second power.
2 to the
Okay,
10
what?
is roughly equal to the 10 to the 3. That's all I'm saying. Is 2 to the 10 is roughly equal to the 10 to the 3. That's what I'm saying.
Since we're clearly not finished in this video,
That's 1,000.
Daryl Frost doubts that Hawking radiation is a thing.
That's
Well, yeah,
Thoughts?
but Daryl Frost also doesn't, and Daryl, I'm not trying to give you a hard time here. I'm a little bit trying to give you a hard time here. Daryl Frost also thinks that because there's no way to measure like what an electric or magnetic field is like in free space in the absence of any particle or in the absence of anything that would interact with it to measure it, that the field isn't there, which
makes no sense. Even within modern electromagnetism, because then what is like the electric permittivity and the magnetic permeability of the vacuum?
Yeah, but he agrees that if there's a particle there, then it interacts. But
wait, whoa, ho, ha! Quantum fields
Daryl's views are
self-interact.
like,
Does he know that? Does he know that quantum fields self-interact?
I would not. I don't think Daryl has a very thorough understanding of quantum field theory. Frankly, I have a fairly rudimentary understanding of it, and I took 2 semesters of that shit. So I mean, it's better than Daryl.
But... No more than me, probably. So
yeah, it depends on how recent.
But yeah, vacuum field fluctuations are a thing. They result from uncertainty and self-interactions in a field.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Creating an insurmountable barrier.
I agree with this statement. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Nothing in the world can cross it, as nothing can surpass the speed of light. Now, you find yourself placed in solitude.
Can we just say that the reason things that can't get back out of a black hole isn't just because they can't go faster than light? It's because there's no such thing as the out of direction that stopped existing when you passed the event horizon. All geodesics in space-time evolved toward the singularity. There is no away from direction past the event horizon. That is no longer a direction that even exists for you. There's one direction that exists for you toward the singularity.
Yes. All directions are down inside a black hole is sort of the idea, a shortened version of what you were saying, right?
Yes.
I will point out, and I'm not trying to trip you up here, Leo, that what you just did there was you said very specific things, correct things that I agree with about what's going on inside of a black hole, even though earlier we were like, in principle, we cannot know what is going inside of a black hole. Like, this is one of those things that can seem contradictory because it is a subtle question. Yeah. And what we're really doing is we're talking about the models and those sorts of things in an effort to like gain better understanding, and that you can make models in different ways. This is a very active area right now. The question of whether singularities are a thing was recently really brought
I do not think that they are. That's my opinion. I do not think that singularities are physical objects. Just me.
Fair enough. I don't know enough about it to have an opinion. But one of the biggest names in black hole research, of the last forever of black hole research, would be this guy named Kerr. Kerr? It might be Kerr.
Kerr, yeah. Kerr.
Kerr. Kerr. Mm-hmm. I was surprised that he was still publishing papers when he published his paper last year, but he published a paper. This is the first guy who like came up with the mathematical solution to the Einstein equations for an uncharged rotating black hole.
The Kerr solution.
The Kerr solution, and there's a metric named after him, the Kerr metric. There's all sorts of things. I don't know if it's the same guy as the optical Kerr effect. That might be a different Kerr. But sometimes physics can run in families sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Roy Kerr, New Zealand mathematician. Discovered the Kerr geometry, an exact solution to the Einstein field equations of general relativity.
And there's not many of those. There's probably less than 10 exact solutions.
There's the Kerr solution. There's the Schwarzschild solution.
There's probably a charged solution that's unrotating, and there might be a charged rotating solution. But I don't know what they would be called.
What? Oh my God, am I really drawing a blank on this right now? Okay. All right. No, I can figure this out.
I believe in you. But this guy published a paper last year. What I was saying was he published a paper last year saying he does not believe that there are any singularities.
I'm with him.
There's a question in a black hole. And then the question is, what is a singularity? And I'm not exactly sure how to answer that in this context confidently.
Yeah, I mean, this singularity is, I thought it was a placeholder term. I mean, because it's like the point at which the math breaks down, correct?
Well, kind of. In physics, the term singularity is generally being used in the context of general relativity. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the point where, because the field equations are partial differential equations, mm-hmm. differential equation just means it measures how things change, the rate at which things change. Okay. The functions for those equations become non-differentiable at the point of the singularity is the point where they become non-differentiable, and therefore you can't solve a non-differentiable differential equation because you can't differentiate it. You can't get a derivative. So like you said, it's effectively the mathematics kind of going, hey, you can't really use me here. I do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Our physics is incomplete.
Okay. And then when you're talking about, I do want to get to this question in here, but when you're talking about like what happens after you, like, oh, there was something you were saying before, like there's no point back out. It's almost like kind of trying to travel back in time, right? Like
kind of, point, where
it's just, it's like there is no backward.
But the thing is that fundamental physics is completely agnostic to which direction in time that you're going. Mm-hmm. That's true for most of physics until you introduce thermodynamics. Then you get the arrow of time, entropy, things like that. But the main point is that when you think of like leaving Earth's gravitational field, you're moving away from the Earth. You're moving in the opposite direction that the surface of the Earth is. Mm-hmm. Once you're past the event horizon, that direction in space literally does not exist anymore. Like I said, there's only one direction that exists in space, and that direction is toward, not just in space, but in space-time, and that direction evolves toward the singularity. That's the only way that you can go in space-time, is toward the singularity. No other directions exist anymore.
So if matter and energy cannot be destroyed, what happens to the math of event horizon? Is that a question
they fall to the singularity.
Yeah, what happens is there ceases to be any future possibilities where they are not going down into the singularity, if it exists, which again,
well, towards the point.
Yeah, well, for rotating black holes, which is all of them, because then
conservation of momentum stuff.
That's you have conservation, but then you might not have it. Like then the idea that I'm familiar with is like not that you don't have a singularity, a singular point, but you do have a ringularity.
Yes,
a ring
as it rotates.
Yeah, and I think those are actually disks. Like I think the middle of the ringularity is also singular. Like if you were to fall down,
two-dimensional?
I think it's
Don't
two-dimensional.
quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say something like that.
But again, all of the guy who literally invented and found the first solution to this came out with a paper in like 2022 or 2023 saying that he doesn't think there is a singularity in the inside of a black hole.
What does he think?
And that you have paths that keep on going around in circles, is my understanding. Okay. I haven't read the paper. If I did read the paper, I would not understand the paper very well without having to put several hours am possibly several weeks into actually understanding the background, because I
General
don't.
relativity goes
It's
a lot deeper than people think. You can
it,
do a lot with general
and
relativity.
and I haven't gone that deep into that part of physics. I have gone very deep into experimental atomic physics. It's a
Mhm.
totally different beast.
Yeah, general relativity is one that I would say personally it requires a lot of math. And obviously, I'm not saying Vandy doesn't have this, but it requires an extensive amount of mathematical maturity
A lot. You have to be very comfortable
with
with differential
geometry.
geometry.
Yep, differential
And
geometry is the big one.
yeah, and I have just started.
Topology is another one,
I feel like I do have the topology background that I would need. I don't
probably.
have the differential geometry background, but
Mhm.
I took topology in undergrad. It was the hardest math course I've ever taken, but maybe my favorite. It was so awesome.
What was
So,
topology?
Yeah, I liked it. It was so cool. It
can
felt
a black
pure.
hole spin if there is no direction?
Yes. Particles
Well,
spin, but they're not actually spinning. It's called angular momentum. We can
I
measure it.
mean, that's not the question. Isn't the question is if there is no direction, if the concept of direction has no relevant meaning. I'm not sure if spin does. Probably it does. But I think it's certainly made a lot more sensible when you do have a concept of direction.
I think that direction is a thing that exists in space time, at least at the classical scale.
Yeah, but that's because then that's why you weren't engaging with the hypothetical properly, because it said if no direction. Sorry.
No, I still think that you could probably measure rotation if there were no direction, simply because
You
you could
were.
measure angular momentum. Kind of
Yeah, I
like how
think.
particles spin, but they don't spin.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The concept of a direction is still relevant though. The spin is still a vector quantity.
Yes.
And a vector quantity doesn't make sense in, like, that would be a thing that which you could use to define a direction. If you didn't have the
Hmm.
concept of direction, but you did have the concept of spin, you could use that to define direction.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. You are Victoria. You get a singularity in charge with an electron if it is point-like. If?
If.
And what does that mean? I listened to several hours of Sean Carroll's podcast this weekend for unrelated reasons to this show. Um,
Hmm. I'll
the
bet.
related reasons are that I'm a nerd, which I guess is slightly related. And like my stupid experimentalist monkey brain is like, yeah, electrons, like we think of them as point particles, but if they were like actually point particles, then they would be little black holes. And they're what they are is what electrons are fundamentally is they are the elementary excitations of the electron field, which is a field that is a consequence of other facts of reality. That's so unsatisfying, isn't it?
Leo, did you want to add anything to that?
Particles are what you get.
Yes.
I'm gonna use some simple terms, some simple words here. When you shake their respective fields, much like you can get bubbles if you like put your hand in a bucket of water and you get bubbles. Well, if you kind of with a quantum field, you get particles. That's what they are. That's the best. They're the of a field.
By the way, a field, because I have to admit that this term is hilariously underdefined in
It
practice,
really
I think.
is, isn't it?
A field is literally it's a thing that has a value at every point in space.
And a quantum field has a non-zero value at every point in space that kind of maybe changes randomly.
But it can have a zero expectation value.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the vacuum. But
Mm-hmm.
all it
Vacuum expectation.
is it's a thing that has a value of some type. It doesn't have to be a single number. It can be a list of numbers. It
A
can be a vector
matrix.
field.
Well,
or a
vector,
matrix.
I guess. Matrix would be an array of numbers,
Yeah,
as they say.
it can be a tensor of any rank. But I think it does have to be a tensor though, of some rank. At any
Well,
point
of
in
course. I mean, even scalars are tensors. There's zeroth rank.
yeah. But so that's all a field is, and then with these fields, you can imagine them shaking in different ways, and it turns out that like the lowest way they're allowed to shake according to like the Schrödinger equation is a thing that it turns out has all of these properties that correlate perfectly with what we know as particles.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
those are the
the
particles.
Schrodinger equation kind of tells us that you can only the field at like certain energy levels.
Yeah.
Like the discrete, well, like you can the electron field and get one electron, or you can the electron field and get two electrons,
but
or
you can't
get three, but you can't get like 3.629 electrons. Can't do that. That doesn't work. Electrons don't like to do that. That's not. They hate that. That's stupid. They will tell you.
By the way, Maya,
Sure.
in terms of wrapping up this evening, Leo and I are completely incompetent in being able to do that. You're gonna have to take charge, and there's not a chance in hell.
Jawad. Oh no. I've been. I don't know if you've noticed me talking at all.
We are
tonight,
halfway
I've
through
said it like 3 times. We're clearly not getting through this. But the chat does have questions, and
hey,
which I think is really important.
The questions. I honestly might say I like the questions more. I get to actually interact with our community.
We do, and I think that's more important. We're not like talking. Well, maybe you two are like talking just to hear yourself talk. We're supposed to be answering the questions that people like. I mean, talking to people. The whole point of Bad Science Sunday is that we're trying to debunk stuff and clarify some stuff, and so if there are questions that people have, then we want to be able to like.
And they're great questions, by the way.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal.
They've been wonderful questions.
So to answer Jawad's question, at the time of the Big Bang, no conventional physics or laws can be applied. Is that correct?
At what we call the Big Bang, there is a lot of physics that we can apply. I don't know exactly how much, but a decent amount. And once you start getting before that, that's when it starts to get. It's not that we can't do any physics at all, so much as the physics is just very speculative.
It's very
well. I mean, technically, yes, inflation is a speculative theory, but it's almost probably correct in some way.
It would be a surprise if inflation was falsified.
Like the whole concept of inflation, because there's multiple ways you can take it. At least one form of inflation is probably correct.
Yeah.
Whether it's eternal or something like that. So to answer the question directly, I would say conventional physics, for the most part, can be applied at the Big Bang, the reheating period, because we have a pretty good idea of what was going on during
the standard model takes over.
Yeah, the standard model takes over, and that's when you get electroweak symmetry breaking. The Higgs field turns on, and particles gain mass. The particles that interact with the Higgs field gain mass, and decays start to happen, and you get different particles from that, and eventually you end up with a hot soup of protons, electrons, and photons, the occasional neutron here and there. And it's that way for quite some time, actually, about almost 400,000 years.
So Jawad wasn't here at the very beginning. Can you differentiate between the beginning of the universe, like the singularity at the beginning of the universe, and the singularity that we're going to talk about here at the middle, that we believe is in the middle of the black holes, or that we describe at the?
They're similar in that they're gravitational singularities, places where general relativity just kind of stops. It just brick wall.
The definition that was tonight best given by Maya of what a singularity is for general conversations about it is it's a place where the math breaks down, probably because you're doing something equivalent to like 1 divided by, or anything divided by 0. Like if you're dividing by a number that is becoming 0, and then you're like, what happens at that limit? a lot of the time, sometimes you do know. Sometimes you do know because there's other things in the problem that cancel and it's fine. But a lot of the times you're just like, okay, this is the thing that I'm curious about is not defined at this point. So my all of this other stuff kind of collapsed and became nonsense at this particular point. We might know what it is infinitesimally away from this, but at this point, we don't know. So a singularity, as Maya said, is a point where the math breaks down because stuff goes to infinity or stuff becomes undefined or all of that stuff. That happens when you're talking about an infinite amount of density at some point in space. So a lot of volume in too small, a lot of mass inside too small of a volume. As it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, all of the equations break down. At the beginning of the Big Bang, everywhere was maybe like that. So it's different.
Yeah, they were similar in that they were both gravitational singularities defined by general relativity. But the one for the universe is generally just I don't think that the universe started in singularity. I don't think singularity is real. Go Team Care. Anyway, is usually referred to as the initial cosmological singularity.
All right.
And like Vandy said, that was the singularity of literally everything.
Could the singularity inside a black hole be what preceded the Big Bang? So it is essentially the egg from which the new universe is waiting to be born.
If singularities are real, yeah, the universe could have sort of been born from a singularity. I think that's uninteresting, though.
Yeah, I think I don't know that I agree that it's uninteresting. It's very like what you just described is a completely very respectable place to try and start building a physical theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's an even more respectable place to start writing your science fiction world building. But it is a very respectable place to build a physical theory that you can publish in
if you take
journals and everything.
If you take general relativity bare bones, that's what it says. That the universe started in that you go back, you get a singularity, and that's.
It does not necessarily assert that that was a singularity that occurred in the context of a black hole, which existed in another 3+1 dimensional
universe,
space-time, right?
Initial cosmological singularity.
Exactly, but that could be the case.
Could be, yeah.
The idea that the heat death of the universe, that once every single excitation is so of any field, so for example, if all you had was photons, once every single photon is far enough away from every other photon anywhere, and because of dark energy, the space in between them is increasing, so that it will never ever ever interact with anything else ever, that suddenly that is a phase change which then triggers some sort of vacuum collapse or something that then results in something like a localized sort of Big Bang, which, because it's a sort of wrapped up self-contained instantiation of its own space. These are things which can you somebody's written down a theory like that. Mm-hmm. Is it true? Fuck, I know. Fuck if they know.
Yeah.
Is the singularity just over compressed materials?
No.
Yes.
Care to elaborate, gentlemen?
I mean, what else is it?
Non-existent.
Fair enough. But then what I'm saying is vacuously true. Because I'm saying a sentence, I'm saying a statement about the part of the proposition which can never be actualized, and it's contingent on it being actualized, so anything I say about it can be true. I don't know if any of that made any sense. I'm not a philosopher.
Yeah, and there's something that I should actually point out is some of these questions are more philosophical than they are immediately scientific. And that's the thing, particularly with physics. is I don't think that at the fundamental level you can really separate physics from philosophy, primarily an area of philosophy known as metaphysics. And I
And
think that's
possibly
really, really
epistemology, yeah.
interesting. What's that?
And possibly epistemology.
Well,
The practice of physics you can't differentiate from that. Maybe not the
yeah.
content of physics. The
All
content of
science
physics
depends on some
is
epistemology.
ontological and metaphysical, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you did say you like talking about God. What did you when I asked you what you like talking about, and you were like the philosophy of physics or something? You said,
Metaphysics and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
yeah.
interesting.
Uh,
And cosmology. I could talk about cosmology all fucking day.
you really could. Um, I this was like almost 10 minutes ago, so I'm not sure if you guys already answered this question, but Sydney Raptor is asking if you can explain the difference between the original singularity being in a hot, dense state and a black hole being in a cold, dense state.
Ooh, that's an interesting
But
question.
would this are black hole singularities cold?
I have not heard
the
any
thing
of
is,
them described as that,
well,
but
hold
I
on.
could be wrong.
The temperature of a black hole is related to one of its very few observable properties.
Yes.
The temperature of a black hole, and I think this was one of the things that Hawking did that was like one of the big things. The temperature of a black hole is inversely proportional to its surface area or to its mass. One of those two. As black holes get bigger, they get colder.
Yeah, that makes sense. Reading
Does
here.
it?
But when mass enters the gravitational singularity, entropy is zero as spacetime is at a standstill in a stable black hole. Therefore, as entropy is zero, temperature becomes absolute zero, or possibly sub-absolute zero. We don't really know. Hey.
Well, in that case, so the entropy of a black hole. Wait, the way you just said it, it sounds like it's a minimum, but I'm pretty sure the entropy of a black hole is the maximum that you can get. Because they're the endpoint, right?
Well, I think it's talking about the entropy of the singularity of the black hole.
Is that a distinction with a difference?
I guess so.
YOLO.
I might do cosmology, but I do not do black hole thermodynamics. So.
I will say so it could be the
Fair.
The answer to your question, Sydney, is no. We cannot explain the difference or
no, we can't.
A ton of insight onto the question. It's outside of either of our fields.
Yeah. Oh, Grayson, you are so late.
Oh my God, Grace,
you're gonna love the stream though. You need to. And then Grayson had a great video come out today, detailing his experience with Doc Dino on their dig over the summer. So please go over to Base Theory.
I gotta say to Creation Myths really quick because he said, "But Leo, I thought singularities don't exist." This is melting my brain. Much like God, we can talk about singularities as concepts, even though they're not real, just like God. So
singularities are like God.
They're not real.
Checkmate, atheist. Sinister Porpoise asks, singularities, says that singularities in math can also take the form of a function, taking on an infinite value. Is this why physicists call black holes a singularity?
I think so, because
basically
a function that rises exponentially, I'm pretty sure is non-differentiable because the
derivative of the function 1 over x squared as x approaches at x equals 0 is not defined.
Yeah, that's what are you even trying to do?
Neither is the value, other than the limit is defined. The limit is infinity.
Yeah.
If you accept that as a definition, because infinity is not a number in the same way.
Except in transfinite arithmetic, but in calculus, no, it's not a number.
Yeah, exactly. But
I should say in analysis, it's not considered a number, but yeah.
Yeah. But it can still be the result of a limit.
What did you
I
just
dropped my
do?
mic.
Oh,
I dropped my
that's why you got quieter as it fell.
mic. Did you hear it like hit it?
Yeah.
Was it like really
Yeah.
I
loud when it
did.
went bang?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't really loud, but it kind of just kind of.
That's good.
So, creation mess. Dr. Dan says barrier to colder should be surface area, right?
I mean, that's how it works with gases, isn't it?
That's
You
volume.
take a gas and you gets colder. Isn't it like how a
That's
refrigerator
volume
works?
though, but holographic
Oh.
principle, the volume is like extra stuff, and everything can really be described by what's on the surface. But that is a
Yeah.
very
Volume somehow to surface area
weird
relation.
thing. I think that's one of the biggest theoretical advances in physics. And I'm basing this off of the many hours of Sean Carroll that I listened to this past week. The holographic principle, the idea that there is a fundamental connection between the information content of a volume and an enclosing surface. I don't know what that means, but it means something. Woo! Magic is real.
It's funny because I swear to God, they're using topology, but they're using so many different forms of like topology and geometry in this area that they've come up with weird ass name like hotopophy or some weird ass. You got like what else? You got homology, you got cohomology, you got like what the fuck do these words mean?
Homomorphism versus homeomorphism.
And then isomorphisms and diffeomorphisms.
Yeah.
The temperature of a volume is inversely proportional to that volume, says
The
Daryl.
temperature of an isolated gas is.
Oh, please, no, please.
Fixed.
I hate gas mechanics. That's the part of thermodynamics that really fucking sucks. It does. I hate it so fucking much.
That's fascinating to me. Why is that the part that you hate?
I don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks. I don't like learning about it. I just don't like it.
I also do not like thermodynamics. I find it unfun. Not
it's not
interesting.
fun. It's just not. Dude killed himself after he invented it. He was like, I invented this, and I have just.
Which guy was that?
Oh
was
God.
it Clausius?
No.
Also, you like. I mean, you have to use unalive themselves. I mean, it's we're trying to get monetized here.
That, but
our monetization comes from Left-Handed Jedi and maybe like
That's
3
fair.
other people. So it is what it is. Jawad White says black holes are simply areas where the gravity forces go supreme with no opposing forces.
Yeah.
Well, gravity's not a force, so what?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is okay. I will say this is a thing that people get way too hung up on. If you want to call gravity a force, fine. If you want to say gravity,
if you want to call gravity a force,
fine.
you can. It's like how friction's a force, but it's not.
I mean, but if you want to answer
100% is.
I mean, it acts like one, but
good enough for me.
Yeah, you're just well, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck kind of person.
I mean.
But would you call a man in a duck suit quacking a duck? Would you really call
all right,
that
so
a
the
duck?
black holes are simply areas where the pull of gravity goes supreme with no opposing pulls.
I don't know. Is supreme an SI unit?
Oh, God. He's talking to you.
Possibly. What does Clarence Thomas say?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's the supreme voice on the matter.
I hate everyone. All the time.
You heard it here first. Maya hates Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan.
What?
Creation myth says also works that way for cells. Surface areas really matters for
all exchange with outside of the cell. He's saying that all of the interaction with outside of the cell has to happen through the surface, right? Yeah, but that's not what matters for like all of the stuff that happens in a cell, right? Like you still need a volume for the nucleus and like all of the other organelles, like the lysosomes and ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum and I don't know, Golgi apparatus. That's a word. And of course, and you
But
know
you
where
gotta
I'm
say it
going
with
with
an
this,
accent
Dan.
because it sounds like it should be said with an accent. Like Golgi
Golgi apparatus.
apparatus.
Yeah, you got to get
Golgi
a German
apparatus.
accent.
No, German.
Or,
Fuck the
of
Germans.
course, we
What?
cannot forget all of
No
our
offense to any of our
favorite
Germans out there.
organelle. And Dan, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh God.
The mitochondria. Say it
Yes.
with me. The powerhouse of the cell. There we go.
Oh my God, you between the two
Wait,
of you,
I have
you're
a
just hell
question.
bent
This is-
on like making everyone hate us today.
I have a question
Oh
for
no,
Dan.
that was
This
last
is a really
week, Maya. Don't
stupid
you remember
question,
how bad the show?
but a question I have
I
nonetheless.
almost took that show down.
Is the ribosome an organelle within the cell?
That's a good question.
I
feel
don't.
like
I don't know. I know it's
Dan,
like an elementary level question, but
Dan is the. I understand we're no longer friends, but is the ribosome an organelle?
Sinister Purpose says, remember the limit only exists if the limit from the left equals the limit from the right. That is why this equation has a limit of infinity as that equation, but the limit of this other equation, such as this other equation, does not exist.
By the way, those
Hold on.
those are not equations. There's no equal sign.
Okay. Just read it and answer a question.
Oh no, this is just a reminder for us.
Oh yeah, no.
Stop being dumb and remember
the
this
the
thing.
left and the right, like along the number line, like when you do the limit. So you do.
This reminds me of a lot of equations in my algebra class. I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this would be pre-calc, but yeah, you don't generally get into. I mean, like the 1 over x squared is algebra, but the limit of 1 over x squared as x approaches 0, that limit, and there's a reason I chose x squared. The reason I chose x squared is because that limit is well defined if you accept infinity as being well defined, because going from the negative side towards 0, it goes towards infinity because x squared is positive for negative x, and going from the positive side, it goes towards infinity because, duh. If I had done 1 over x, that limit does not exist. And so 1 over x at the limit, because from one direction it goes to negative infinity, and from the other direction it goes to positive infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dr. Dan's going to help me kick your asses.
Okay,
I'm not saying that. I'm fine with gravity being a force. Okay,
gravity is technically not a force, though.
Your fight is with Leo. Well, what is a force?
Right.
An exchange of particles. Like strong interactions is a force.
So gift giving at Christmas is a force?
Oh my God.
I mean...
Right? That is
gift giving at Christmas defined by a gauge theory?
It's defined by an exchange of particles. You didn't say a gauge theory.
Oh
Gifts count as particles. Gifts count as particles, bro. No. Gifts count as particles. They are well-defined excitations where the energy width of the excitation is significantly shorter than the lifetime. Okay, gifts don't decay.
There are also things humans can exchange between themselves that are particles, but I mean, some people might consider it a gift.
Yeah, reminds me of the time.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Like
Come on.
I can't remember what he was, but he was like trying to say like tornadoes don't suck, and then I'm like trying to explain what they do is just like really hard without using the term suck. And then I asked Leo to join the stream.
That was your mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say
that it was by popular demand. They all wanted this, and I'm just going to remind you guys. You asked for this.
This is what you wanted. You asked for this.
You agreed.
You signed.
I did. This I tried to kill your brain cells. You tried to kill mine.
Well,
we've got
to kill yours.
Dear math, fuck you.
Oh fuck! No,
math is Lord of Fools.
Math is great. It's just got hands, So I got to train.
Jawad White says, "Excuse me, infinity is a theoretical concept derived from dividing a certain number on zero."
Well, it depends on where in math. Like transfinite arithmetic, infinity is a number. And then there are different cardinal infinite. Like the lowest cardinal infinite, Aleph Naught, is an infinite. Like it would be equal to like the real number line. And it is a number.
Aleph Naught is not equal to the real number line. Aleph 1 is equal to the real number line. Aleph Naught is equal to the integers.
Are you sure?
Not about the terminology, but I am sure that the lowest infinite number is
the lowest cardinal infinite is Aleph Naught. I
okay.
Feel
well,
like
then,
I've heard
then,
that it's
then that is
equal
definitely
to the
equal to the.
line.
Well, think about it. The reals are continuous. You can't put those into one-to-one correspondence with the integers.
No, but I think you can put Aleph Naught into a one-to-one correspondence with the real numbers. I don't know.
Well, then,
I'm looking it up.
So okay, because I'm pretty sure I thought Aleph Naught had to be the smallest infinite number. But I'm not sure.
I don't do much transfinite arithmetic.
While you guys are looking stuff up, people are paying us to stay to keep streaming for reasons, all good reasons, I'm sure. For $2, Vandalia says made it back for the end. And Vandalia, I don't know if there's going to be an end. The guys are talking math and cosmology. This may just be an infinite stream. We're going to see.
It's the natural numbers.
Yeah. The natural numbers are in a one-to-one correspondence with the integers.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and it's not the real numbers, because the real numbers are not in a one-to-one. Yeah. They have different cardinality. They're the only two sets. Well, okay, I know that the reals have a certain cardinality. I think they have the same cardinality as the complex numbers, right?
The real numbers? I actually thought the real numbers were a proper subset of the complex numbers.
They are a proper subset. Just because it's a proper subset, the positive integers are a proper subset of the negative integers. That doesn't mean they don't have the same cardinality.
You are right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's about being able to do a one-to-one correspondence between all of the elements.
What do they call that? And that's not bijection.
Bijection is one to one.
Is one to one? Okay.
A surjection is onto. It has to be one-to-one and onto.
Yep.
All right, for
set theory. Shit.
For $2, Sydney Raptor says maths. It's not mathematic.
Exactly. It's not maths ematics. It's math ematics, which is why we shorten it to math. Because it's math ematics. You just cut the ematics off. That's all we're doing. It's just cutting the ematics. Because we don't need the ematics. The ematics, they don't teach you about that. You don't need to know about that. You don't need to know about the ematics. You just need to know about the math.
I was looking for this.
Looking for what?
I showed this the other month or week when Dan was on. You enjoyed this. Okay. So.
I'm going to measure this. This is 40 inches and this is 69 inches. Nice. How do you get the...
Just use Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I guess math is finally paying off in the real world, huh?
What's the Pythagorean theorem?
You don't remember?
I never learned that.
Yeah, it's the a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Yeah, everybody learned
Just
that.
like the quadratic formula song, x equals negative b plus or minus
square
root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
You guys are cute. What the was that?
You've never heard that before?
I don't listen to Drake anymore, man. You know that. Plus, what does any of that even mean?
Nobody remembers how to use it.
Yeah, we all just remember the song. You never learned that.
Never.
I before E except after never E saw. 9 times 5. 45, 9 times 6, 54, 9 times 7, 63. You never learn how to multiply by 9 using your fingers. Never, no.
Where did you go to school?
Alex. What's the mitochondria? The mitochondria? That's the powerhouse of the cell. Everybody knows that.
Anyway.
Oh, that's fucking dude. That guy is fucking hilarious. And I just love they've got the fucking interstellar music going.
Is that where that music's from?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
probably.
I believe that's
Oh.
Hans Zimmer.
No, certainly not
The
the
only-
only asshole.
The only Hans on this show is Hans Wormhat.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Do you know
Anyway,
what Hans Wormhat?
for good old
Oh
Darl.
man, next time we have Leo on, we should do Hans Wormhat.
Oh, that is such a waste of Leo's talent.
Really,
That's
really
my
quick.
point.
Stop dying over here. For Darl, math is a word much like the word moose. So, like, you could see a moose out in a field, but you could also see multiple moose out in the field, and you don't say mooses. You just say moose. Okay, math is the same way. You could say that algebra is a type of math, and you might say something like analysis involves multiple types of math. You don't say maths. It's just math, man. There's no S there. That's not how that works.
Yeah, our point is that the British are wrong.
Of course they are. Like I said, what did I say at the beginning of the stream, Bandy?
I think you said that for $5, Vandalia said. Speaking of cosmology,
Well
Leo. Leo never got back to me before Earth miniseries.
Yeah, I
Me
saw
and
that
Tab-
after it already
before,
started
yeah.
because I'm literally never
Ah.
on Discord.
No, yeah, can relate. I was
That's
chasing him all over the interwebs.
Twitter or Facebook, if you have me on Facebook, is or
Yeah, I found him on Facebook like right
Just on
after
my
he
channel.
like posted a comment. I'm like, you're here, gotcha. I think the only person harder to find than you is Danny and maybe Amy Newman.
Danny Phil Talk Danny?
Mm-hmm.
My gay lover Danny?
Yes.
Oh shit, I wasn't supposed
One
to
and
tell
the
people
same.
about that. No, I'm just fucking around.
Oh, wait, I mean, if you follow Danny, you know he has gay lovers. It's what he does.
Well, I mean, he is married to a woman.
Mhm.
Danny is bi.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, you can be totally gay and still be married to a woman.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, yeah, they call it.
Oh, I know.
That'd be
Yeah,
hard.
I know a lot of people who that happened to.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people, a lot of conservatives especially, that have a lot of repressed homosexuality.
Sometimes people get just the wrong idea about somebody's status. Like multiple people have thought that Maya and I were dating and living together.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, we just bickered too much, and we don't look enough alike to be brother and sister, so we must be married.
It's literally, yeah. And when you analyze the logic in that way, it's a little bit concerning. It's like, you know what? It's a weird thing about human behavior, isn't it?
That is. Hi, El.
Right. To be honest with you, the style of your laugh is on another level. I laugh like regular people.
I laugh like a stoner because I have a stoner laugh.
Hey,
do people tell you that?
No, I just know that I do.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong hand. Oops.
Yeah, right? It's so annoying. Boom! Close enough.
Yeah.
No. We got to get it perfect.
Oh,
Hold on.
for fuck's sake.
My
Why
brain
am I
is
here?
trying to adjust here.
What is the meaning of life?
There we go.
Leo, who are you? Where are you?
That was good.
And what do you have coming up for the rest of the year?
I don't know, honestly, at this point. I'm hoping I can get some live streams in once I get some stuff up and a more comfortable chair.
More comfortable chair. No, that would be awesome.
Because if I lean back, I'm clear back here, and I don't want to look like that guy, if you know what I mean. When I sit like this, you look like that guy. I don't.
Stream.
Well, no, I'm not thinking of anybody specific, but we all know that guy. Yeah. We all know that guy. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, so fuck that guy. We're not. Nobody's talking about him. Anyways,
I honestly don't know who you.
No, that is awesome, Vandy. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you have
to.
coming up this week?
This week, I do not know that I have anything coming up in particular. I will instead take this opportunity to say that I think our friend Grayson may be changing their channel name from.
No, that already happened
Yeah, okay. Well, it happened like
randomly
very
throughout the
recently.
day. And then he came in here to announce it.
Yeah, so
So critical base theory is now Grayson Hawk because he's
Grayson
tired of
Hawk.
people calling
Why
him
did he
based
pick?
and critical.
yeah, that's
Why
his
did he
Because
name.
pick the
like
name that I would expect from the American guy in like one of those 3 countries at war movies? Hi,
Because that's his
name's
name.
Grayson Hawk. I'm with the CIA. Like
Right.
that's what I get when I
he's
hear
a
that.
Because that
Texan.
because that's his name.
Exactly, and the guy would be from Texas. Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, I decided I would promote somebody who makes content because I, as you all know, do not
Is it
make
going to be somebody
content.
I hate?
No, I was promoting Grayson just now. That's
Oh,
what I
Grayson
was
seems
doing.
okay.
like
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's
Yeah.
nice. Notice is on. That looks great. I don't know what notice.
What?
Yo, Creation Mist is with you, Maya, in the chat. They also love the new Guy Fawkes look on Leah.
Oh, yeah. Guy Fawkes. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying Leo's going around as Guy Fawkes because this Guy Fawkes.
I could not live with the name Guy Fawkes. No. I don't want people
Uh,
calling
Anyway,
me Guy. Hey,
so
Guy.
Wednesday, I hope that's correct. Wednesday, I am going to be on. Oh God, my brain just shut down. Is it? Oh, it's midnight. Of course. All right. On Wednesday, I will be on Dr. Dan's channel. Holy fucking shit.
Creation Myth.
Creation Myths. So I put a link in the chat. I'm so sorry. I can't help it. Thank you. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tune to Creation Myths. We are, and the link is in there right here. That's the link I put up there. How to ridicule and refute misinformation with Maya Atkinson. That's me. And yeah, it's gonna be fun and shit because that's what we do here too. Only we're gonna be
Fun and shit
doing
is the best category of video.
fun and shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell you know how YouTube sometimes ask the creators like, what are some suggestions? Like, I want like a fun and shit category that I can put all of my streams into because like we'd be fun and shit. Also, like and subscribe to Creation Myths because he is also fun and shit. Like and to subscribe to Leo because one day he'll be back on the air breaking your brain and shit, which should also be a category.
These should
And
be categories on our Imaginology channel.
Imaginology.
Fun and shit. Breaking your brain and shit. Like have categories
and
of space and shit.
Imaginology.
We should actually make that a channel, and I guess you can't reserve the
No,
URL
you're gonna have to.
until
You're
you
gonna have
have it.
to. Yeah. Well, you could keep your username but change the @
Imaginology.
Yeah, Maya.
My
if you
channel
think
is the
that I'm
name
getting rid of
me.
@Tapioca Weasel.
All right. Well, what about
Then you're
crap?
insane.
Well, is Crapioca Weasel yours or Sumami's?
I'm pretty sure that's Sumami's.
Okay. Well, you have a bunch of weasels.
It's not mine. like I want to be clear. I'm
change an
100% sure. I'm 99% sure it's not mine.
See, look at everybody in the chat. I'm totally about to like change my channel name to Imaginology.
Right?
Or something.
Imaginology.
I
Okay,
bet if I
just
did that, by the end of the year, I'd have like 10K subs just because of the fucking name.
do it.
No.
Seriously, do it. Like it's legit. This was I almost said this earlier. Maybe I did say it and I forgot. Noticing that Imaginology is a great name for a YouTube channel is probably the best idea I've had in the last month. If properly applied.
You're an atomic physicist.
I know. That's the dark thing about late stage capitalism in the age of YouTube, Maya. Because I know, and I still stand by that.
That would be a very hard rebrand. Imagine.
Yeah, well, none of this is going to happen, so maybe I'll just rename this stream Imaginology.
But like Vandy said, Imaginology sounds like it goes more with like somebody who does a lot of like maybe futurism related
Futurism.
stuff and some tech stuff, you know.
No, like just the
And
stream.
I don't
Like
do that. It doesn't
I can
sound like
name
physics and philosophy.
this talk or whatever. Oh fuck, are we going 3 hours? All right. I want to thank everybody who came today and everybody who like just powered through all of this. You guys are like freaking amazing. I don't know. Is anybody on?
Anybody what?
I don't know.
Is
Streaming.
anybody on?
Is anybody streaming that we can divert
Redirect.
to? By the way, I thought that required like 1,000 people, and then did YouTube change it?
It's okay.
We don't know what YouTube does, man. Okay. They don't tell us. We're mushrooms. They keep us in the dark and feed us shit.
Indeed.
I mean, I am a fungus.
I thought that's just what I told people. I didn't know I was allowed to 3 hours. Time just ran by. You know what? It's like a hive size stream. You know, it's like you get up, it's 10:30, and she's like, you know, the little stream is starting. It's like, yay, you pour a cup of coffee, and she's like, well, that's it. See you next time. And it's like 1:30, and I'm like, holy shit, how did this happen? Yeah, it's kind of how it feels. Only like for me, it's like 3 hours of talking or like dealing with these two. So it's just like it feels like a hard three though.
Is Grayson still? Yeah, he's still in the chat. So
yeah.
I saw your members only poll. I can't vote on it because I'm not a member. So I'm just going to vote here. If you don't mind, Grayson, you should do debunking James Tour once and for all. I think that would be pretty cool.
Ooh. Yeah, that's way better than like Kent Hovind, which Grayson, if I may say so, was like totally a waste of your talents. I mean, I'm pretty sure like the thing that you utter as you're sleeping at night debunks Kent Hovind.
You mean nothing? Like if they say, what is your argument against Kent Hovind, and you like don't realize they're talking to you,
Yeah.
and you still win, like
Right.
works. That's a sufficient response.
Like we measure rocks that are older than 6,000 years. Like that's probably shit that Grayson says in his sleep and totally debunks Kent Hovind. So wait, did you delete Porpoise? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I did it.
How do you delete a whole person?
I didn't. Did it delete previous ones? It only deleted that one, right?
No, just the one. Yeah.
Okay, because it looked legitimately like something like a thing that somebody sat on their keyboard. That's why.
See, I like Kilo Charlie, which sounds like a drug dealer name. But like my actual point was, yeah, Kent debunks himself. It like it made me explain the joke, and so now it's not funny anymore. Fuck you all. All right. So I for anyone who took capturing Christianity seriously, I'm sorry.
His content has kind of gone a little downhill. Like with
Yeah,
all
I don't know if anybody takes
people
him
supposedly
serious.
predicting that Trump was going to get shot, and survive, and that's just the Shroud of Turin stuff and all the demons and the exorcism stuff. Like the quality of his content from like 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, has definitely changed. It's a lot more clickbaity now, unfortunately.
All right. You know what, Andrew, this is a great what do you call it? It was a great time. We're getting out of here. It's been almost 3 hours. Leo, thank you for coming by. Are you coming back to YouTube anytime soon?
Well, I never really left. I've just had stuff going on and just have not had time to really do YouTube.
Which manifested in you not being here, which means that you left, sort of ish.
I mean, it's kind
I
of
was still on
YouTube
every single day.
Yeah, okay. There's
You're not creating content,
and then there's being.
I just haven't been making content. Is all. I've been here though. I've
Well,
been
have
on
you been
Matters
giving
Now. I've been on a
arguments
lot of
with
their
people on live
streams.
streams?
Not that much. No, nobody.
Yeah, this is what I'm
All the
saying.
theists
This is
ran.
the Leo
They
that we're
all
looking for.
ran because we've been through it a million times, and our arguments just keep getting better, and all they have is the same old.
Okay, I'll find something you're wrong about, and then I'll fight you on it.
He's wrong about this. He was not on YouTube for the past 2 months. Sorry.
I've been
But
around.
you're just a pedantic fucker. God damn it, Native.
I respect that.
Oh,
Hey.
oh man.
Thank you,
Jolly
Native
good
Atheist.
day.
Fantastic.
He says, good show. We do appreciate you. But I'm going to bed. Maybe, yeah. No, that is definitely happening. Stop giving me money, people. All right. Hitting the buttons. Anything you would like to say? I've got to find a sign off. Like a
You're
proper
great
sign
at hitting my buttons, Maya.
Night, everybody.
That yawn, I think, was
Night.
my
Say good night.